This is Hnos the Sport bringing you that heat and that fire. We keeping the foot on the what on the next. We keeping the foot on the what on the next. Man, the panel is perfect for today because today we got a lot of shit to talk about. We gonna basically clown LeBron James up. It's been a minute. It's been 2 weeks. But we gonna get right into this motherfucker and we gonna clown LeBron James up like nobody's business. You know, we got a LeBron tard here. I call him the rationale LeBron tard. So we got him. We got Richy Rich, Mr. Ether, Mr. Make that shit, that ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow. Mr. Cemetery Silence in the building. So I think we got it going on. We got a great panel. We're gonna give you guys a great show. Jaliktheleader, talk to them, man. What's up, brother? How you doing today?
First and foremost, I appreciate you having me on the show. Shout out to Mr. Dade County, the only man that got 2 feet within LeBron James and didn't get an autograph. And shout out to Richie Rich, man. And I'm happy to be here. And we gonna get it popping, bro. And we gonna talk about how it's crazy, Mr. 305. All these legendary guys is saying LeBron is number one, but he's like, I don't get it. Kareem said it. Pippen wanted to say it years ago. Like, why is it that when these guys that play basketball, you call them a hater? You're going to have to explain yourself, Mr. 305, for real. Because, I mean, come on, bro. People are starting to really say it, bro. Like, come on.
Okay. Salute Joel Hayward. Salute James. Richie Rich. Let's get the salutations out of the way. Mr. Nas, Mr. Ether, that shit that make your soul burn slow. Mr. Cemetery Silence in the building, dog. Talk to them, man.
Yeah, it was good. He knows, man. Thanks for having me on. What's up, Jalik? How you guys doing? Hopefully, you guys have had a good week. It's been a hiatus since we've done the show, man. This should be a good show. Looking to get forward into the topics, man, and going in, man, because I got a lot to say off my chest, man. And listen, Jalik, dudes are prisoners of the moment, man. That's all you got to understand. It's a prisoner of the moment thing.
Mm-hmm.
When we look at that dude's resume, his resume speaks for itself. It's not a GOAT resume. It's not a GOAT resume. Come on now.
All right. Now let me get on to it, dog. Let me talk about this, man. First and foremost, we got to talk about LeBron James and him saying, Kobe Bryant, I hope I made you proud. See, this is the thing with LeBron. He's always looking for love affirmation. Let me say it again. He's always looking for love affirmation from the Michael Jordans and the Kobe Bryants of the world. He's always seeking that. Because if you were greater than Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, you wouldn't need affirmation from them. If you was the GOAT, you would be the ultimate and the final authority of your basketball lineage, right? Of your basketball pantheon of greatness. And he knows the sport already said it. If you got LeBron James in your top 10, you are a LeBron tard. See, Richie Rich, there's secret LeBron tards out here. There's secret LeBron lovers. And Hnos Sports absolution always reveals Finch straddleization, or it also always reveals Finch straddlers. And that's what you having. Motherfuckers talking two sideways out of their ass. And we know what the good book tells us. A double-minded man, what? Is unstable in his ways. You can't on one end pander for LeBron and then on another end talk trash about LeBron. It's either you're talking trash about LeBron or you pandering for LeBron. You got to pick and choose. You can't be lukewarm, dog. The worst thing to be is lukewarm out here in these basketball streets. The worst thing is to be lukewarm out here in these life streets. You pick or choose. This is why I like Jaliktheleader, because Jaliktheleader is a bona fide through and through LeBron tard. Let me say it again. He's a bona fide through and through LeBron tard. He has allowed the LeBron fanisms and the retardationisms to put together and has created LeBron tardisms in his freaking brain. And it's fine. He's in his infinite Sukuyumi, i.e. salute to the Naruto fans. You know what I'm talking about. He's in the virtual reality. He probably was right there with LeBron celebrating on that damn tequila and sitting there saying, yes, I won this Mickey Mouse title. Because that's what it is at its truest and its most properest levels. You can't celebrate a Mickey Mouse title and think that that puts you in the breath of Lakers lore. When Kobe Bryant won his NBA title, it was heavyweight lifting. When Shaquille O'Neal won his title, it was heavyweight lifting. When Magic Johnson won his title, it was heavyweight lifting. When Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won his title, it was heavyweight lifting. When George Mikan won his title, it was heavyweight lifting. Not get out your teeth, get out your bed and don't brush your teeth. No heavyweight lifting. Who does that? Who raised you? Like TK Kirkin said, who raised you? Who gets out of the bed, don't brush their teeth, don't do no i.e. heavyweight lifting, wins a Mickey Mouse title, i.e. pickup game championship, i.e. least path of resistance NBA title, i.e. fraudulent fluky on the spot NBA title, i.e. a sham of an NBA title, and think that it is an NBA title. That makes no less sense. And see, what people have to understand is when we think of LeBron James, we have to think of a LaFraud James. We have to think of a Guguffa Folk, greatest finals failure of all time. We have to think of a guy that has lost. This is what LeBron James's legacy is all about. When I think of LeBron James's legacy, the first thing that I need to hear out of even LBJ Riders media, LBJ Brigade, LBJ Apologists, and LBJ Stances, how many times LeBron James has lost in the NBA Finals? If that's not the first thing that comes out of your mouth, I don't want to hear anything about LeBron James's legacy. And there was a burner account. I do believe it was LeBron James because the way the vernacular is speaking. Notice LeBron James is now all of a sudden saying, I need NBA fans to respect my NBA title. He knows the sport gets all full credit for that. He knows the sport is the standard bearer for that. He knows the sport is the trendsetter for that. Because why is LeBron James saying that all of a sudden? Only person that anybody knows that has been applying unlimited pressure into betting mastiff style and saying that this is a fraudulent fluky on the spot title. This is a least path of resistance NBA title. This is a Mickey Mouse title. This is a sham of an NBA title. Is he knows the sport, bringing you that what, that heat and that fire, and keeping a foot on the what on the next, and keeping a foot on the what on the next. See, y'all gotta excuse me. I'm in rapping mode. I've been in rapping mode since the Loma and the Lomachenko. So rapping mode is just following me all over the place. It's actually going with the fire beat. When you guys listen to my boxing beat, the fire beat, that was exclusively made for He Knows the Sport. So I'm rapping with that beat right now, but I'm doing it from a basketball standpoint. And what people have to understand is when we look at LeBron James, we see a guy that's not what he is. He is not more than meets the eyes. He is not Transformers. He is basically untransformers. LeBron James is basically the biggest sham in NBA history. He's the biggest accident to ever happen. He wasn't even supposed to happen. And when we look at his basketball pedigree, we look at his basketball ability, it's smoke and mirrors. So when you sit here and say that I hope Kobe Bryant's proud, no, Kobe Bryant's not proud of that bullshit. Because back in 2008, Kobe Bryant was a Superman amongst three Supermen. Who are the Supermen? Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, and Kevin Garnett. And when he went up against the three Supermen, he didn't have his neutralizer. Because if you guys remember in Superman 2, Superman needed that neutralizer. And that's how he was able to beat the three Supermen, because he couldn't beat them head to head. How can one Superman beat three Supermen? This is what Kobe Bryant had to face and still push them motherfuckers to 6. Because I told you guys, the NBA superstar has to be able to win one game, if not more than one. And Kobe got 2 off of them. That's heavyweight lifting. Then came back in 2010 and beat their asses. See, that was real titles right there. The years that Kobe Bryant played with Shaq, those Sacramento Kings team that they have to go through, Kobe Bryant was putting up all of the big numbers. People don't talk about shit like that. Those Portland Trailblazers teams, the San Antonio Spurs team, Kobe Bryant basically did all the heavyweight lifting from round 1 to round 3, and he basically told Shaquille O'Neal in the NBA Finals, here, give you the ball and I'm going to get the hell out the way, because you dealing with a barbecue chicken center. That was heavyweight lifting. But when we look at LeBron James, when the Lakers played against Orlando Magic was the best team that year. They beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. That was heavyweight lifting. Kobe Bryant was able to do to Orlando Magic that LeBron James wasn't able to do. That's why they didn't want Kobe Bryant in those Muppet years against LeBron James to play against one another. Because you know what Kobe Bryant would have done? He would have had those W's on LeBron James. And if Kobe Bryant would have had those W's on LeBron James, it would have made LeBron James feel some type of way. Then everybody would have known that LeBron James was the biggest LeBust the NBA has ever seen. I told you, I'm in rapping mode right now. I'm in Super Saiyan mode right now. And when He Knows the Sport is in this super mode, just like a turkey, gobble that motherfucking shit up. LeBron James is not what you guys think that he is. He's a guffer folk, greatest finals failure of all time. And if you pander for LeBron and then you speak against LeBron, you are a double-minded man in your own ways. If LeBron James is in your top 10, you are a double-minded man in your own ways. Because you can't speak good about LeBron and then speak bad about LeBron at the same time. I respect definite, absolute opinions. Either you absolutely support LeBron James or you absolutely not. And if you're going to fuck with this platform, you will be revealed as such. because we are separating the weak from the obsolete, like Biggie said, dog. And we keeping the foot on the what? On the next. We keeping the foot on the what? On the next. We need absolution here. No 50-50s. Like men and women of confidence, purpose, and abundance mindset. You lay on a pick and you double down on that bad boy with confidence and fortitude. That's why I respect Jaliktheleader, because he is unquestionably 100% a LeBron tard. Me and Richy Rich are adverse to the LeBron ways because we know basketball has been played at a higher level. How's LeBron James over Kobe Bean Bryant? How is he over Tim Duncan? How is he over Shaquille O'Neal? How is he over even Larry Legend? Still not over his ass. Because you got to look at the NBA pantheon of greatness. You have to look at the NBA finals percentage. You have to look at what the final percentage is all about. 50% threshold and higher is upper echelon of the pantheon of greatness. If you are under that, which LeBron James is still 10% less, if I went to 10 NBA finals and I won only 4, what the fuck? Yeah, Star Power Entertainment. That's a hold up. Hey, taxi. That's a taxi Tijuana cab driver type of NBA player. That's what it is. At its truest and its most properest levels. We have to sit here and look at LeBron James, and we have to peel the layers of the damn onion. He's not what people think that he is. He ain't better than Kevin Durant. And if you say that he is, then I got to channel Roger Mayweather, but I'm going to do it in a basketball sense. Richy Rich knows the terminology because he followed Floyd Mayweather. Roger Mayweather would say, you don't know shit about boxing. But in this instance, you don't know shit about basketball. If you say that LeBron James is better than Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant owns him 2 out of 3 in the NBA Finals. Kevin Durant is 9 out of 5 in the NBA playoffs, where legends are made, where NBA pantheon of greatness is decided. This is how you denote greatness personification, because greatness personification can't be stopped. It can only be hindered. It can't be stopped. And if you sit here and say that LeBron James is better than Kobe Bryant, you don't know shit about basketball. If you sit here and say that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan, you don't know shit about basketball. Because why is LeBron James still seeking affirmation from Kobe Bryant? Why is he still saying, Kobe, I hope I made you proud? That's like a son hoping that he made his father proud. Whew, what I said, I think it went over some people's heads. It didn't went over Richy Rich's head. I know I'm in Jay-Z mode. I like to drop my Jay-Z metaphors and similes. But if you ain't getting it, then guess what? Maybe you ain't on the level to get it. So I ain't going to go rewind and tell you that. Either you're getting it or you're not getting it. The bottom line is this. When we break down LeBron James, why are you seeking affirmation from Kobe Bryant? Why are you seeking affirmation from Michael Jeffrey Jordan? Why? And why are you telling us you're the GOAT? And why are you coming on Hnos Sport platform with a burner account telling me that I need to respect your NBA title? Yeah, LeBron, I see that fuck shit. See, that's the thing. Because you don't want to say it's definitively you, because you know if you do that, then you're going to give Hnos clout. That's okay. Because I'm the only one, absolution-wise, that basically said in this YouTube, well, ain't nobody can take credit for that. Only I have that. 100% that was on the foot of your damn necks. I kept the lion's foot on the giraffe neck of your ass. And I told you, you want a least path of resistance NBA title. You want a fraudulent fluky on the spot NBA title. You want a least path of resistance NBA title. You want a Mickey Mouse title. You want an NBA pickup game title. And I still picked you to win because I knew the cards were stacking your favor. It was a easy as fuck title. Because when it's participation award error, or in this instance, we got to preference it or contextualize it into love participation award error, then it's easy. Because you're going to escape the love faux pas. But then when we look at Anthony Davis, Richy Rich, right? Anthony Davis, what's the big thing with Anthony Davis? This man has done heavyweight lifting in the postseason, but he doesn't win an NBA Finals MVP. Well, Anthony Davis joined the fucking party. That's why Kyrie Irving left that fucking team. That's why Chris Bosh was running his rabbit ass mouth saying, man, you know, I was the catalyst. I was the X factor, but I wasn't looked at as such. The Miami Heat, we saw Chris Bosh on Club Shay Shay. You saw him complaining about how the Miami Heat fans, they didn't respect him, but he was the one that if you went and looked at the PER, Richy Rich, because I know you're going to break that down so eloquently when it's time for you to talk. Chris Bosh, when you match him up against anybody, Chris Bosh with LeBron James, Chris Bosh with Dwayne Wade, or Chris Bosh with any scenario of all three of them, Chris Bosh is the extra plus. The plus in win column with Chris Bosh is higher than it is if you just have Dwayne Wade and LeBron James. But did Chris Bosh get the credit for being the ultimate catalyst, the ultimate X factor? No. Because when you play with LeBron James, it's LeBron James's way. He's the Class A narcissist, and you guys are seeing this. Now the Class A narcissist is trying to tell us via 27th law of power, via neuro-linguistic programming, you need to respect my championship. That is love insecure as fuck. Because if your NBA championship was quantified, calculated, and verified, and it was certified, why the fuck do you need me to tell you that your NBA championship is certified? Why are you crying spilled milk? Because we're in participation award era where everything flies. People just want to win for the sake of winning. People don't want to do no heavyweight lifting. People don't want to win the right way. They just want to have a sham of a win, i.e. Loma and Lopez fight. That's what they want, shams. This is what we're dealing with, Richy Rich. This is what we're dealing with, Jalik. This is the generation that we're in. That's why He Knows the Sport calls them Rudy Poo and Plum Plum Brains. Classic dotes and troglodytes. Ultra fanboys and ultra fangirls with the ultra fanboys and the ultra fangirls rhetorics. Because this is what they are at their truest and their most properest levels. And like Meek Mill say, there's levels to this shit. There's fucking gears. But when we look at Kevin Durant, like Drake did to Meek Mill, and I like Meek Mill. Because Meek Mill done say there's levels to this shit. But let's keep it real. Drake done back to back that ass. That's what Kevin Durant did. He back to back LeBron James. So if he back to back LeBron James, then how the fuck is LeBron James better than him? And then you had a LeBron tard, i.e., I don't give a fuck whatever his name is, because I don't give a flying fuck. This dude came out as a classic LeBron tard and said out of his own rabbit ass mouth that, oh, Kevin Durant's championship is not deserving because he ring chased. But LeBron James didn't ring chase with Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade was a top 3 player in basketball. LeBron James didn't ring chase with Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh was a top 10 player in basketball. When was Stephen Curry ever a top 3 player? Stephen Curry was a top 10 player. When was Klay Thompson ever a top 10 player? Klay Thompson was a top 20 player. You see the difference? But see, if you let the media, right, LBJ Riders media, brain full of mushroom and brainwash you and thereby what we call turn you into what? A dodo freaking head, you would think otherwise. But that's ring chasing over the fact that he played with Dwayne Wade. That year, they sat there and bragged to the Olympics team and said, well, you know, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7. I wouldn't have told you if that wasn't the case. But LeBron James, I thought it was the case. Because your ass turned around and won 2 out of fucking 4. You were a 50% NBA Finals averager and performer with a team like that. You put Kobe Bryant, you take LeBron James out, that's 4 for 4. You take Michael Jordan, you take LeBron James out, that's 4 for 4. That's why I don't remember what the recent article is, Richy Rich, but I like the most recent article that said if you take LeBron James out and you put Michael Jordan in every one of LeBron James' teams, what does Michael Jordan's record look like? It's 10 for 10, abso-fucking-lution, 100% NBA Finals averager and performer. You take Kobe Bryant and you put him in LeBron James' place, Kobe Bryant wins 9 for 10, 90%. That's going to be the threshold at its truest and its most properest levels because I'm judging it based on what I've seen them do. Kobe Bryant, 5 for 7, MJ, 6 for 6. So he's still going to be 100%. Kobe Bryant going to be 90%. But LeBron gives you 40%, and that's greatest of all time. No, that's greatest of all fucking trolls. Jaliktheleader, what do you got to say, man?
I got to echo. Let me see something. Yeah, okay, that sounds better. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I got some questions for you because it's really interesting. Let me ask you, yes or no? Do you think homeboy built this profile up, Jimmy Butler, this year? You think his profile got better by leading his team to the finals?
You asking us the question?
Yeah. Do you think he built this profile up and showed that he was a good player and he can lead his team?
Yes, I do believe that.
Okay, but he lost the finals, right? So according to your logic, your crazy, weird logic, he shouldn't get credit because he lost. But then a guy like Michael Jordan wasn't even getting past the first round. You give him credit. All you talk about is the 6-on-6 in his awards. You never talk. You forgot that for 7 or 8 seasons, the guy didn't win. And let alone without Phil Jackson. That's why I don't get. That's why you're going to have to come up with some new bars, bro. If you need a ghostwriter, I got you. I can get you a ghostwriter because you can't just take that out of his career. And you can't double talk. You double talking because if LeBron don't get credit, but then you give Jimmy Butler credit, you're going to have to explain yourself. And Michael Jordan is a nice guy, but let's just put this in perspective. Imagine him playing right now with social media. His gambling ass ways, they gonna catch him in Magic City. He ain't gonna be able to control the media. He couldn't even handle it. Also, you got players that can score better than him. So he will have to change his game up. LeBron James can play with, he doesn't need Phil Jackson. He had Tyrone Lue, who was his first year. He went to the finals with the guy from overseas. So no matter who the coach is, he's gonna win. He's a better winner. So that logic, every time you bring up that logic about 6-on-6 or whatever, please remember Jimmy. I'm not even going to speak on it long. Please remember Jimmy Butler improved his profile. So are you great? So you either double talking or you grading LeBron on a different scale because you know he's a great player, and that's fine. If you go and grade him on a curve, then grade him on a curve. But I need you to keep the same energy that you have for Jimmy Butler and give him his props. Now he did lose, but so what? What would you rather do? Would you rather just lose in the first round, or would you rather go to the finals and lose? What would you rather do? Because I know you're about your Benjamins. You do know that they also get more money when they go to the finals for bonus money. So what would you rather do? What would you rather do? That's all I'm going to say. I ain't even going to be long. Go ahead, Richy Rich. Come on, man. Boy, help your boy out, bro. Help your
The
boy out.
outliers, as usual. You didn't even address what I said. You addressed your own LeBron Tart shit, but it's all good. Go ahead, Richard.
Jaliktheleader was good, boy. Yeah, man. You gotta understand, man. One thing about MJ, man, he didn't scheme the game. He was a competitor through and through. He didn't try to scheme the game. LeBron James has won his titles because he is taken an easier path. He has gone seeked out talent like no other. You bring up Phil Jackson, but you seem to not bring up that Phil Jackson and when diddly squat until he started coaching the Chicago Bulls, meaning that he was at ground zero. It's not like when Phil Jackson went to the Lakers and he was coaching Shaq and Kobe, and he already had 6 championships on his head. This man had nothing. He was unproven. He was an unproven head coach. So I don't know why you keep bringing up Phil Jackson coaching Michael Jordan. Listen, Michael Jordan was proven. We had to, as a talented player in the league. Phil Jackson had to show that he could coach Michael, and he brought in a good philosophy, good tech. That system wasn't even Phil's. That was Tex Winter's, the triangle offense. That wasn't Phil's patent offense. That was Tex Winters. It wasn't just Phil. Now, don't stop bringing up Phil, because you got to respect you got to respect dudes that was on his coaching staff as well. You got to remember that. But guess what? Phil needed Michael Jordan. You need that engine. Obviously, we knew Jordan was gonna win, but it was about Jordan, waiting his time, because obviously, yeah, there were more, there were better teams around, and those teams had better rosters. They had horses. Jordan had to wait till his horses got better, and once he got his horses, nobody was denying Jordan. That's how it was. LeBron James had to scheme. He had to go around. Oh man, let me team up with this guy. Let me team up with that guy to win. Because I can't win. I can't win if I just stay and I get another player here. LeBron, he has to overstack. He has to form Voltrons, man. Look at everybody that he's teamed up with is a top 5 pick in the NBA draft. Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, they were the 4th and number 5 picks. Kyrie Irving is a number 1 pick. Kevin Love is a number 2 pick. Anthony Davis is a number 1 pick, dog. Come on now, Jordan. Listen, Jordan has never played with anybody of that talent in the draft. Come on now, check yourself, man. Listen, LeBron James talking about put some respect on that championship. Listen, since when we respect bubble titles? We don't respect no bubble titles around here, man. Come on now. We don't respect no bubble titles. Listen, look at that whole COVID-19 situation.
Soul burn slow.
Listen, this is why LeBron James was out here practicing with his teammates, because he knew this was a perfect opportunity for him to win a championship in this type of scenario. Meaning that if the NBA came back, most of these guys weren't going to be prepared because they were with their families during this whole COVID-19 situation. They probably weren't training as hard. They weren't taking basketball was not the number 1 priority in their minds, man. But LeBron James, when that COVID-19 was at its all-time high in Los Angeles, this guy was figuring out ways to still practice with his teammates. putting his teammates and his family at risk, playing because they wanted to try to build their chemistry. I mean, which was smart. It was scheming, which was smart because look, he came out with a championship in this whole bubble scenario. So you got to give it to him. That dude, he looked at this like Kevin Durant is not in this thing. The Golden State Warriors are not the team that they need to be. The Clippers are in our way, but what's the likelihood of these guys coming back and playing on the level that they were playing on until this COVID-19 hit? So he's like, okay, I like those odds. And look, it came out and it worked out for him. Listen, if you look at Jimmy Butler's impact in the finals compared to LeBron James' impact, I look at Jimmy doing more in those finals because this man had to hold that team together, losing Dragic, Bam Adebayo, even himself suffering an ankle injury, which he re-injured in the same game. This man was able to get 2 games out of those Lakers that were the heavy favorites. I don't even know how the Lakers allowed the Heat to win at least one game with the injuries that team faced. Seriously, man. That's why you guys should look at LeBron James and that championship as Hino says, a flimsy, fluky NBA bubble title. Because how the hell you let that Heat team get 2 games? I don't get it. And LeBron James did what he was supposed to do. He put up numbers like a superstar was supposed to. But the numbers that I brought up in a few shows ago where I said that when Anthony Davis was on the floor in those finals, the Heat were shooting 40% from the field goal percentage. When he was off the floor, they were shooting 58%. Meaning that LeBron James, listen, Anthony Davis had his imprint all over that series. That man should have been the finals MVP. LeBron James just put up those numbers that he was supposed to put up. Without AD, they wouldn't have got the job done. AD was the catalyst of them winning because when he was on the floor, they were able to nullify whatever the Heat were doing. When he was off the floor, the Heat were able to do what they wanted to do. Jimmy Butler was able to get inside the hole, mix it up with LeBron. That's the things you got to look at. LeBron out here getting MVPs off other dudes heavyweight lifting. It don't, and he knows he got dudes in the media that's gonna put narratives. They're gonna push that argument when they don't realize, man, that AD was the reason this fool won that NBA championship. It's crazy, man. It's absurd when you think about it. This man always gets credit off other people's heavyweight lifting. Ray Allen hitting that dagger shot. Kyrie Irving hitting that dagger shot. And AD pretty much shutting down being the disruptor of not letting the Heat do what they wanted to do. Heat still could have pushed that thing to 7 games, even with those injuries that they faced. You remember that game that they lost? Was it game? I believe it was game 4.
Game 4.
Yeah, game 4. They were going toe to toe with the Lakers in that game. They made costly mistakes, and it made the Lakers win that game, and they gained the momentum in that series. But if the Heat was able to win that game, I believe it would have won 7 games, and they would have given themselves a great opportunity to play kitchen sink basketball. But we all knew that wasn't going to happen. So, it is what it is. But I give Jimmy Butler more props in that series than I do LeBron James because Jimmy Butler didn't have anything. He didn't have Goran and he didn't have Bam most of that series, and he was able to get 2 games against the heavy favorite Los Angeles Lakers. He was able to go toe-to-toe with LeBron. And he didn't have Anthony Davis on his team. He didn't have a Dwight Howard on his team. LeBron James had all these bigs that were able to rebound the ball and defend the paint. Jimmy Butler, Miami Heat don't have the defensive presence down low. Bam Adebayo, I mean, he's athletic, but he's not really a paint protector like that. LeBron James had all that interior help, and he still gave up 2 games to the Miami Heat that was decimated with injuries.
Facts.
Why is it always listen? You haven't noticed it? You haven't noticed this with Jordan, Kobe Bryant. When they're the favorites, they destroy the competition. But LeBron James, it's always difficult. It's always hard for him to win. You remember when he went to 7 games with the Indiana Pacers? The Paul George led Indiana Pacers? Why is it always hard for this guy? That's why he always finding the best talent to play with.
Huh? Look at that comment from Light 'em Up the Bomb 1, dog. Hey, if you an anime head,
exactly.
Dog,
hey, light up the bomb 1 said it perfectly. That man is the 4th Hokage, dog. You wasn't touching him. LeBron James, man, this man is always hard for this dude to win his championships. It's why he's always seeking out the best talent to play with, because he knows his style, his style of playing Bron ball is not guaranteed to win. This is why you saying that he don't need Hall of Fame coaches. He don't need it, bro. He needs top tier talent to play with to win. That a lot of times that goes past playing with a Hall of Fame coach. If you got the best squad on your team, of course you're supposed to win. It doesn't matter what coaching you have. Sometimes, and this is what he's done for the past decade, man. And he still got a losing record, meaning that this guy's overrated, overhyped. If Kobe Bryant, if Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan, I could go on the list of greats, man. If these guys align themselves with some of the players that LeBron James have had for the past decade, these guys will have way more championships. And you know that, Jaliktheleader. You know that. So you gotta pump the brakes on that whole LeBron this. Yeah, we're gonna listen, LeBron has won titles. He's a great player in his own right. But I feel that the media, man, has pushed this guy too far up the totem pole, man. He doesn't deserve to be where he's at. Because you know why? He took a shortcut. He proved to the NBA fans, to the basketball enthusiasts, that he is not what the media has made him out to be. And that's straight facts, bro. I'm done.
You never answered it though. You said he couldn't play without Anthony Davis. You do realize that besides points, Pippen led every statistical category, right? You do know that, right? Pippen led every single category except points. But then you said he needed Anthony Davis. Pippen went to the NBA Eastern Conference Finals. Jordan never could do that without Pippen. Come on, man. You got to learn, bro.
Pippen never went to no Eastern Conference Finals. Pippen went to the semifinals.
He did. He made the Eastern.
When was this?
Mm-hmm.
Jalik, man. Jalik, listen.
There you go. Outliers, though.
Listen, Jalik. You better, dog. You expose yourself. That man never went to no Eastern Conference Finals without MJ.
Hey, Rich.
Hold on. Pause for a second.
Pippen led every category. All right, go ahead.
Everybody pause for a second. Let me just say this real quick. Listen, this nonsense you about to say, well, Pippen led every statistical category. Jalik, check your facts, dog. I'm gonna tell you right now. Check your facts. Check your damn facts. Because you're talking to people
in the playoffs. We talking about
people
in
here.
The playoffs.
Yes, Jalik, you're talking to people here that you have said are stat patters or stat trackers. Remember who you're talking to. We got the stats in our head, literally. So when you say Pippen is leading, don't delude the fan base and don't lie to them.
He led every category except points, rebounds, and assists. Look it up.
No, he didn't.
Look it up, bro. In the playoffs. In the playoffs, yes, he did.
You're lying out of your rabbit ass.
All right, bro.
Okay.
All right,
no. And I'm gonna tell you why you lying out your rabbit ass. Because if Pippen would have led in every statistical categories in the playoffs, like you're talking about, round 1 to round 3, Pippen would have actually been looked at higher than what he's originally looked at now. He would have actually been looked at as a guy who was also another cog. It would have been like a 1A, 1B. He would have been looked at like the way Kobe and Shaq is looked at, where they looked at as 1A, 1B. He would have been looked at that way. Pippen is a number 2 for a reason, because Pippen never gave number 1. He always gave number 2. Now, Richy, I'm passing the mic right back to your ass.
Let me chime in. Listen, Jalik, this is all I got. I know you was watching The Last Dance. Did you recall in that the last act when Pippen was out there nursing that back injury and he was dragging all over the court. It's like he was just a corpse out there. And he told Jordan, "Listen, man, I can't give you nothing, man. You got to do this. You got to pull us through victory." Imagine if LeBron James. You remember when Dwayne Wade in the finals against the Spurs when Dwayne Wade was hurt, banged up, his number 2? What happened in that finals? LeBron James lost in 5 games. LeBron James, he is heavily reliant on that number 2. Michael Jordan showed why he's the GOAT. Pippen was banged up. Pippen couldn't give him nothing. If the Utah Jazz was going to beat the Chicago Bulls, that was the time. Jordan was not going to allow it. That's what a true number 1 does. It shuts everything down. Okay? Even if the number 2 can't go, can't give him anything, they're gonna overcompensate to cover for the number 2, and they're gonna come home with the victory. And that's what Jordan did in '98, dog. I've never seen LeBron James come through like that. I've never seen him come through like that. Your number 2 ain't coming for you. Your number 1 still delivers. That's why Jordan shows he's the true GOAT. If Anthony Davis played up and down in that Miami Heat series, dog, Miami Heat are capable of winning that series. It doesn't matter what LeBron James does, because his numbers, when you look at it, the Golden State Warriors showed his numbers don't really mean anything because they swept him. He had his 30-point triple doubles, and this man was still getting his ass swept off the floor. Even with Kyrie Irving putting his numbers and Kevin Love putting up his numbers. The difference between LeBron James and Jordan puts up impactful numbers. You got to understand that. AD put up impactful numbers. He shut down the Heat every time he was on the floor. Without AD's impact, the Heat win that series.
Now, let me just say this real quick, and then I'm gonna pass the mic to the beautiful I Love This Game. But let me go ahead and say this real quick. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Let's look at the stats. See, this is why when you talk outliers and you talk this rap shit out your mouth, yeah, I'm giving you playoffs, and I'm gonna stick it in your face. Michael Jordan averaged 33.6 points per game. Scottie Pippen averaged 19. So start checking off. This is points right here.
No, I said points. I said everything besides points. Besides points.
Higgity, you on Higgity fucking hush status right now. We ain't just talking about points. I'm gonna kill you right now. Points, 1 Michael Jordan, 0 Scottie Pippen. Rebounds, Michael Jordan averaged 6, Scottie Pippen averaged 8.3. 1-1. Assists, Michael Jordan averaged 6, Scottie Pippen averaged 5.9. So you already been eaten and murked because Michael Jordan is 2 out of 1. Remember, you said every stat
that's like,
minus point. So you already lost.
Okay, go ahead. That's almost the same. 5.96 is like the same. Go.
Hey. It's like Fist of the North Star. Why am I St. Don't you already know? You already fucking dead. So it's 2-1. Now, no. I'm gonna eat and murk his ass. Assists, steals. Jordan 1.8, Scottie Pippen 1.9. So that's 2-2 tie. Blocks, Scottie Pippen 1.1, Michael Jordan 0.7. That's 3-2 to Scottie Pippen. Field goal percentage. Jordan, all up. I'm not done with your rabbit ass. You higgity fucking hush.
I didn't
Michael Jordan, field goal percentage 48.1, Scottie Pippen 42.5. We're at a tie back again. At what is it?
I didn't count field goal.
Hold on. We're at a tie, 4-4. 3-point percentage. Here's where the tie starts breaking. Michael Jordan 36.8, Scottie Pippen 25.6. That's 5-4 in Jordan's favor. Free throw percentage. Michael Jordan 80.6, Scottie Pippen 74.7. That's 6-4 in Michael Jordan's favor. Do you want me to keep on going?
No, I'm talking about points, rebounds, assists, not percentages. Not that. I didn't count that.
No.
I never counted that. I'm talking about points, rebounds. No. Because LeBron led every category. All right, bro. We're talking about the main ones.
Jalik, don't lie to the people. You said every other stat. We heard you. We have ears. Jordan's up 6-4 right now. See, I'm burying your ass. I like to bury people with facts. Jay-Z made a terminology. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. The numbers ain't lying here. Michael Jordan, points, 1,176. Scottie Pippen, 664. 7-4 in Michael Jordan's favor. Assists. Michael Jordan, 209. Scottie Pippen, 207. 8-4 in Michael Jordan's favor. Steals, 62 Michael Jordan, 67 Scottie Pippen, 6'5". Rebounds, blocks, 23 to 39 in Scottie Pippen's favor, 6'6". And here's the thing, the last point of reference here. PR per field goal percentage in true field goal percentage. Michael Jordan 49.3, Scottie Pippen 44.6. So who won that? You just said that Scottie Pippen led in every fucking category, and I just buried your ass. And they both played 35 games, by the way. So higgity fucking hush. All right, you've been Ethan and Murph. Now let's get back.
I should have been more clear. I didn't mean field goal. I'm talking about rebounds, assists, and blocks and steals.
No. You said all stats, motherfucker. I love this game. What's up? Talk to us, girl.
I love this game. What's up? Nice to meet you finally. I love this game. Nice to meet you.
So you on mic?
She on mute.
You on mute.
My bad. Sorry about that.
There you go.
I say good evening to everyone. Hello to you too, Jalik. So I see you guys having a heated debate. I see you killing him there on some stats.
Damn right.
Which is what all the LeBron fans love to reach for, stats.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the topic at hand though? You're comparing him to Jordan right now?
Right now we're talking about how LeBron James, it kind of weaved into two out of one topics, but how LeBron James was saying he hoped he made Kobe Bryant proud. And I buried that because I said, how did you hope to make Kobe Bryant proud? He's actually turning his stomach because you want a Mickey Mouse title. So that was the first part of it. And then the second part kind of weaved into it when he sat here and he said that Scottie Pippen led in every statistical categories over Michael Jordan to basically denote his point.
Well, if that's the case, Anthony Davis led LeBron in every statistical category this whole season and in the playoffs pretty much. So, I mean, that's debunked right there if you want to talk about that. I'm not even gonna go there with that because Anthony Davis pretty much carried LeBron the whole season. Jalik.
So what about the playoffs? Who
hold on, Jalik. Hey, Jalik. I'm gonna mute your ass. It's her turn now. Wait your turn, bro.
What about the playoffs? They were neck and neck in the playoffs. Anthony Davis did a lot more lifting than LeBron James did in that playoffs. I mean, the media tries to frame it as if LeBron is the reason why they won the championship, but they're not. He wasn't. It was all Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis had a bad game, they had to either struggle to win or they didn't win at all. LeBron, he does what he does. He puts up a tremendous amount of empty stats. That's all he ever did. He always puts up empty stats. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say about that. Empty stats. As far as this whole, I have been taking a, break from basketball during the off season. I still keep my ears to the basketball streets a bit, but I have to take a break from all of the noise. But I've heard a couple of things. I mean, as far as LeBron saying he hoped he made Kobe proud, I just think that's just LeBron being an actor, as always. Being an actor. He's trying to play to the Kobe fans, the Laker Nation. It's all BS. There's a spin for when he loses and a spin for when he wins. And as I said before, he is a tremendous bad loser, and he's also a bad winner. He's one of those guys that once he wins and he knows that the bag is completely sealed, then he's going to do all his chirping, all his talking. We got that, case in point, we got that BS, I want my damn respect too. He could barely actually utter the words because he knew he was just full of shit. So it's just, I'm not gonna be long-winded here. I just think it's all a bunch of BS. I mean, this whole restart was framed so it can try to make LeBron look like this superhuman who can overcome the pandemic, can overcome, winning a championship while he is being the social justice warrior. He's carrying the team. He's dealing with so much stress. He's dealing with the death of his mentor and brother, Kobe Bryant, which is bullshit because him and Kobe didn't even rock like that. I mean, you have a number of players in the NBA that had a better relationship, better mentoring by Kobe than LeBron. LeBron was competing with Kobe. He couldn't even see Kobe. He couldn't even hold Kobe's jockstrap, put it that way. So this notion that he had to win it for Kobe and it was all about Kobe, that's another media created narrative to try to make LeBron this, big topic or this big figure that he truly isn't. He's just media created. So I just think that's all BS too. That I don't even put much stock into that. But the media will, but this it's just all BS. It's just him talking. And I always tell people, like, he's just not what they're trying to make him out to be. He's not what they're trying to make him out to be. It's like Jay-Z said, one of my favorite quotes that Jay-Z said, he's all right, but he's not real.
Yeah.
That's how I look at him. That's how I look at him.
You gotta say that.
That's how I always say that. What you say he does?
You gotta, when you see me say that, you gotta
I gotta rewind that back so it can marinate in the corpus callosum and the cerebellum. Okay.
There you go.
It's like I always tell people when it comes to LeBron, he's all right, but he's not real. Jay-Z said it best. That's one of my favorite quotes from Jay-Z. I mean, it's no other way to put it when it comes to LeBron. He's all right, but he's not real. He's a good player, yes, but he's not that deal. Straight point. He's just not. He's not. And I'm just tired of all the hype. And I'm just glad that the off season is done. This season is, hopefully they can get back to some semblance of a real season when it starts back, so we can hopefully get some fans in the seats. Maybe I'm looking forward to Clay and Steph coming back. I'm looking to see if this experiment with Kyrie and and KD is going to work out. I'm not really sure on that, but I'm just glad this season is over. And the crazy thing is, it's not that big of a buzz about LeBron winning because nobody gave a fuck. So it is what it is. I hope I didn't go too far off there, but you fellas go ahead.
Jalik, the mic is back to you, bro.
No, yeah, I mean, I respect your opinion, but hopefully the season is much better. I think they've been trying to change the season to start later anyway. They talked about that before. And if there's a way for them to have maybe less games to make it even more interesting, because the thing that kind of hurts them is the fact that it's 82 games. And if you like me, I'm like, bro, I'm waiting till like March or April. I don't got time to watch every game. Now, it's some people that be doing, a friend of mine, he do fantasy basketball. I was like, bro, you that's like being an addict. That's a little way too much. But we'll see how the game goes. If I was the Lakers, I would definitely not get Chris Paul, because they will lose probably in the second round. It's something about him that I don't know. I don't want to call it a curse, but it's something about him that he has a strong personality, but it'd be more for the bad than the good, because I definitely don't agree with Chris Paul going there. Just let him finish his career, whatever he's going to do. But I know that they friends and things like that. And then Kyrie Irving also, I'll be surprised if they make it past the second round, to be really honest with you. Because who's the leader of their team? Is the coach going to be the leader? Is he going to be afraid to talk to Kyrie Irving? Is he going to tell him the truth? Because does Kyrie Irving want to hear the truth? Or how do they get along with each other? Just because you're friends, that don't mean that you're going to be good teammates. It's a whole new different ball game. So Kyrie Irving, we already know the guy couldn't make the playoffs in the weak-ass Eastern Conference. So what is he going to do now? What has he done? He played like it's the 80s. He carried the ball. He don't move without the ball. One thing about Stephen Curry can move without the ball, a la Reggie Miller style. Kyrie Irving is not able to do that. He's also very, very fragile. So I think that they would have done better keeping D'Angelo Russell with the pick and rolls than they would be with Kyrie Irving. So that was a wasted money. But I get it, because the players, which I like, the players got the leverage. But Kyrie Irving, I'd be really surprised if they get past the second round and they're going to start talking about it was a bad decision and different things like that. But I'm hoping Kevin Durant comes back in full health. But I don't see them. I don't see them winning, man. I just don't see them winning. But it's gonna be real interesting to see how LeBron, if he can break Kareem's record. And I'm not sure if they're gonna win it next year though. I'll have to look into it. But the interesting thing to me is the Clippers. And I predicted, and he knows the sports, they give him credit. I told you they're gonna get rid of Doc Rivers because of the situation. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. What's your email address, bro? I'm gonna teach you about the salary cap, bro. That's one of your weaknesses. He knows the sport. You don't know about the salary cap and the inner workings behind the business side of that. You got to learn that, bro. You're good. And once you learn the salary cap and how things work, I can teach you that, bro. I'm gonna email you, bro. I told you they was gonna do that because their contract is up next year. So why would they not get rid of him? And they gonna lose the whole team unless they get rid of Doc Rivers. And I was telling you throughout the playoffs, what's the dude, Montreal Harrell? He playing for a contract. So I predicted that the Clippers was gonna do that. But you, the publicist of his team, I know that's your homeboy. I know you got friends, y'all in the same union, you and Doc Rivers, but bro, he has to get out of there. And then he's going to Philly. He's going to do the same thing. So it is what it is, man. That's all I got on that one, man.
All right. First and foremost, you didn't predict shit. All you did was predicted a fly that's swatting off the damn wall. That's what you predicted. You know the email.
He's going to get fired, bro.
Hey, hold on. Hold on. It's my turn to speak. You didn't predict nothing but a fly swatting off the damn wall. I'm going to say that again. What happened was uproars by people like you, LeBron tars like you. You guys uproared because you wanted to see an unapologetic black man lose his job, and that's sad. And you guys uproared and said that what has he done? What has he done? Yada, 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 yada. Y'all was calling Paul George Pandemic P. Like, that's the thing with Rudy Poor and Plum Plum Brains. Classic Dolce and Troglodytes, ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric. I don't even understand the terminology they come up with these days. I don't even get that shit. It sounds stupid. It sounds like a bunch of dum-dums. You guys ever watch that movie? Richy, remember we used to watch it, Dumb and Dumber? That's what it sounds like. It sounds like Dum Dum or Dumb and Dumber or Three Stooges. That's what it sounds like, man. They come up with these weird terminologies. What they don't understand is Doc Rivers didn't even deserve to be fired because the Clippers didn't have enough continuity. But they fired him because Steve Ballmer was pressured. He wasn't originally going to fire him. So my prediction, King Strikes Again fashion, would have enacted. It would have stayed activated. But because this owner was emotional and he went off of an emotional whim, they got fired. That's what happened. You had a whole bunch of YouTube content creators pressuring for a black man to be fired. Shame on these motherfuckers. They know who the fuck they are. Shame on them. That's what the fuck they were doing. That's why this firing happened. It didn't happen because you said it was going to happen. You didn't do anything special. All you did is you just lumped yourself in the rest of the coal of all of these people that wanted that shit to happen because you knew what was going to eventually happen. The Clippers was coming for that ass. It's not the Clippers' fault that when Kawhi Leonard showed up, he was claw anorexic or clawrexic. He didn't look like Kawhi Leonard. He looked skinny as fuck. Then he beefed up somewhat. I don't know if they put him on a quick juice of PEDs. I don't know. But his legs wasn't there defensively. They didn't have enough time together. But if you look at the team right now and you look at the Los Angeles Clippers, they actually transition seamlessly. Because I talked about it in the video the other day. Tyronn Lue is an assistant head coach that was the head guy. So I like the fact that they worked on the inside and they worked with somebody that was already in there. And what Tyronn Lue is going to bring to the table is what actually the Clippers team is all about, transitional play. He's going to make sure they're in top shape, which is key for their defensive ways, because if you're in top shape, that means you can guard defensively. You can play on both sides of the ball defensively. You can lock in because that's what their team is all about, two-sided players. And I already told you guys, in order for a team that's two-sided to dominate, they need to have enough legs under them because they need to be defensively responsible. That means they need to be playing on the court as much as possible. Paul George missed 75% of the season last year. Patrick Beverley missed games. Kawhi Leonard was on what they call that shit, load management. So they really didn't have no continuity together. And they fired this guy off of a whim. Now, I like the hiring with Tyronn Lue, so I don't think that's going to blow back. Wait to see what happens in a real NBA season, like I Love This Game said so eloquently. Wait until they play a real NBA season that's going to be associated with a real NBA title, not this Mickey Mouse bullshit Not this, we're going to pause during COVID. Because if people forgot, the Clippers were peaking at the right time, right before this shit happened. And then stupid ass Rudy Gobert, that's dirty and nasty. See, everybody's hygiene is not the same. If you go listen to the players in the locker room, they said Rudy Gobert was a nasty motherfucker. He was sitting there wiping his balls with his towels and putting the towel on his damn head and then put it right back in his balls. That's why all these people got COVID. Because you're dealing with dirty ass motherfuckers. Yes, I said it. He's the one that spreaded all this bullshit, even all the way up to Kevin Durant. Maybe LeBron was in on that shit. I don't know. Anything that has to do with anything that's like easy as fuck, you got to throw LeBron in that bullshit. That's what I'm thinking. LeBron probably called up Rudy Gobert. Hey, I hear you dirty. You nasty as fuck. I hear you dirty. I hear you taking towels, putting in your balls, and then putting it back in your face and back in your balls and throwing that teammate. Why don't you do that shit real quick so that we can get a jump on this NBA bubble? You know what bubble means? It means isolation from reality. It means illusion. It means infinite Sukuyumi. It means virtual reality. It's 3D. It's not real. So don't give me this nonsense about you got Doc Rivers. No, you didn't do nothing. You just lumped in the cold with the rest. Now, if you would have said it way in advance, then I would give you credit for it, but you didn't do that. Now, going back to what we're talking about, because this is the actual topic at hand. Kevin Durant is not no fucking Paul George. And I love this game with Richy Rich. I'm going to want y'all to expound on that shit because I got to get on Max Fullerman. Just for a quick second. This dude had the nerve to call Kevin Durant a Paul George level player. Are you fucking kidding me? So Kevin Durant and Paul George, when was Kevin Durant ever on Paul George's level? You see what LBJ Riders Media is doing? Because they are afraid of the 50-40-90 walking gazelle. They are afraid of Mr. Anti-LeBron. They are afraid of the guy that made the legacy officially done, the cachet officially over. And when he comes back, the natural order of basketball will return. The legacy will be redone. The cachet will be re-over. And to debunk your nonsense, Jalik, then I'm going to pass the mic to Richy Rich. And then I love this game, could get it on the back end. It's as simple as this. Kevin Durant was cleared and recovered as of April 1st, 2020. So you want to sit here and ask yourself, is Kevin Durant back? No, he's unquestionably back. And I know that scares your LeBron-tard ways. Any LeBron-tard or any LeBron fan is petrified of Kevin Durant because they saw what Kevin Durant did to LeBron James in 17-18. They don't want that to happen again. Well, that's why they had the gall and the unmitigated gall to call him a fucking Paul George. Are you fucking kidding me? And then you had this second string football player. I can't even think of his fucking name. What is it? Jay Robinson, whatever the fuck his name is. This dude, a classic LeBron tard, came out of his mouth and said that Kevin Durant was ring chasing when LeBron James played with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That's the ultimate definition of ring chasing. But nobody talks about that. When was Dwayne Wade and freaking Stephen Curry ever on the same level? And if anybody tells me that Dwayne Wade and Stephen Curry is on the same level, you don't know shit about basketball. When was Klay Thompson and Chris Bosh on the same level? Anybody tell me that shit, you don't know shit about basketball. Because over here, we deal with absolutions, not fence straddleizations or fence straddlers. Motherfuckers that talk two sideways out of their ass and motherfuckers that are double-minded men and women in their ways. Because a double-minded man and a double-minded woman is what? Unstable in their fucking ways. We deal with absolution here. And when you come on this platform, you got to pick a position. And if you don't, you will be revealed as fence straddleization or a fence straddler. Why do you think everybody that shows up, even on the panel, even if your ass is a LeBron tard, you got to talk correct? Because if you don't talk correct, you got to deal with me. And if you don't deal with me, you got to deal with Mr. Ether. That shit that make your soul burn slow. And if you don't deal with any one of us, now we got Mrs. the lovely Allspark. You got to deal with the Allspark. She gonna transform that ass. So either way, you're gonna deal with somebody that's gonna check your ass, either murk your ass and put you in your fucking place. So you gotta come fucking correct. So Jalik, don't hand me this bullshit. You didn't do nothing special. You know the email. You know what time it is. I'm always looking for free smoke. They call me Free Smoke Junior for a reason, dog. I'm always looking for that free smoke. I'm always under the gun. I'm always under pressure, dog. Don't you know the nickname? Tibetan Mastiff. Research the fucking dog. It applies what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Now, Richy, you got the mic, dog.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what happens in the next season, man. Hopefully, I love this game. Mentioned that they can get some type of semblance of fans back into the stadiums, and the NBA can go back to its normal state, but it's gonna take some time. But I do believe fans are going to be able to get back into the stadiums. Traveling, that might still be tricky. So, we just got to hope for the best, man. And hope, most importantly, there's a resolution for this virus going into next year. But I mean, I like what I see. I mean, Golden State Warriors. Yeah, I'm surprised y'all ain't talk about them. Because they got assets, man, out the world. They got assets out the mother, man. They're not gonna waste Curry's prime. If they could pry Giannis, they're gonna do that. And I've heard they're even looking at Joel Embiid now. If they get Joel Embiid, that is the perfect player to go at Anthony Davis with. Because Anthony Davis has no answer for Joel Embiid. Every time he's faced Joel Embiid has dominated that matchup. So if they get Joel Embiid, man, listen, Anthony Davis, boy, that boy's gonna be worried. That's all I gotta say. Kawhi Leonard, man, listen, this is a dude that trained under Kobe. He went to the Mamba University. He was a disciple of Kobe, trained under Kobe. Listen, this season was not a good season for Kawhi. They didn't show up. They were up 3-1 on the Nuggets, and they choked. But the thing about Kawhi is Kawhi's not Kawhi. He had a down season. He's gonna come back, and he's gonna be serious. He's gonna come out next season on a tear. And the reason why Doc Rivers got fired is because, it's because I believe Ballmer wouldn't have fired him if they would have at least got to the Western Conference Finals and they would have lost to the Lakers. It would have been a tough series, a tough out battle, and they would have made something of that series. He wouldn't have got fired. The reason why he got fired is because they lost in the second round. They were up on a team, and they were up 3-1, and they choked. And there was things that Doc Rivers did in the season that put his job at risk because of what happened, because of the outcome of this season. He was giving Kawhi Leonard and Paul George some preferential treatment. These guys were missing practices, and these teammates had issues with it. So a lot of that stuff came out, man, during these past few weeks, and Ballmer already knew it was going to come out because that's what these reporters do. In the NBA circles, that they leak out this type of stuff to bring discord. And Ballmer already knew that was going to happen, so he made sure he fired Doc Rivers because of that. He probably had a talk with Doc saying that, okay, listen, you're giving Kawhi Leonard, you're giving Paul George these breaks, but it might have an effect with chemistry down the line. These guys there might not be our core as a team might not be there because you're doing all this stuff right now. These guys are not playing these games and they're not getting that kind of chemistry that they need to get down with the guys that have been here before. So, I'm believing what you're doing right now, but it might have some consequences down the line. And Doc probably already knew those consequences if they didn't meet their goals, and they didn't. So his job, that's what happened. His job, was at stake. So, but, the guy landed on his feet. He got the Philadelphia 76ers job. But I don't think they're going to keep Ben and Joel Embiid going in the next season. One of those guys is going to get traded. Kevin Durant, man, listen, they coming at Kevin Durant, dog. First take, them cats in first take, them cats are undisputed. They talking some really foul stuff on Kevin Durant, especially Stephen A. Smith. He was basically saying that he don't want to hear no excuses from Kevin Durant going into next season. That LeBron James is poised to come at Kevin Durant next season to pretty much counter those losses that he suffered at Kevin Durant's hand when Kevin went to the Golden State Warriors. Well, Kevin pretty much outplayed him and outclassed him in those final series. So Kevin Durant, man, he hears all that chirping, he hears all that noise, and you better believe that man gonna be ready to come back because he's had a lot of time to rehab that Achilles heel injury. His game is not predicated on athleticism. Kevin Durant is a very skillful player. He can shoot from anywhere on the floor. He could put the ball on the floor like a guard, man. Listen, KD's going to be ready. The question I have is Kyrie. Is Kyrie going to buy into the system? Is Kyrie going to understand that, okay, listen, this is a different point of my career. This is not when I was young, flashy, immature. Kyrie has to be more mature It is a very pivotal point in his career. He has to show that he can, get be a leader somehow. I believe he's gonna dig deep and he's gonna figure it out. The comments he said about Steve Nash were a little, you know, a little funny, but I believe Kevin Durant, he's gonna put his foot down with this dude. He's gonna tell this dude, listen, you gotta buy into the system. For us to succeed, for us to win a championship here, you gotta buy into the system. You gotta believe in Steve Nash, because Steve Nash was pivotal and the type of player that Kevin Durant is right now. He did a lot of work with Steve Nash. A lot of people don't notice. He did a lot of work with Steve Nash in those off seasons, especially that season where he was coming off that weird metacarpal injury that he had in his foot, where people didn't know if he was going to come back as the same player. It was a very risky injury, a very risky surgery. And Steve Nash put in the work with Kevin Durant in that offseason, and Kevin Durant was able to come back and he was able to win a championship, man. So Kevin Durant, he owes a lot to Steve Nash, and he was vital in helping Steve Nash get that job. So he's gonna make sure Kyrie Irving buys into that system that Steve Nash is bringing over to the Brooklyn Nets, and those guys are gonna get it done. I believe they're gonna get it done. They should be a team that contends for a championship right away. So it's gonna be an interesting season, man. There's teams, man, are in play to make moves. You hearing Lakers doing this, Lakers doing that. Listen, Lakers, do they really want to break up their core? They had key guys that stepped up. You want to let those guys go? Rajon Rondo, he's a free agent. Calvin Tavius Pope, that dude was pivotal. You really want to let that guy go? That's the thing, though. They don't want to pay these dudes. They don't want to pay them because of the cap situation. Like Jaliktheleader was talking about, that cap is going to cripple some teams, especially the Lakers. For the Lakers to try to go after Chris Paul, they got to give up at least. They got to hope that guys re-sign or opt in, and then they can move at least 5 or 6 players for Chris Paul. But why would you want to do that? You're going to gut your team. You're going to gut all that chemistry that you gained with those guys just for Chris Paul. That doesn't make any sense to me. But this is what the Lakers are going to try to do. You already heard Derrick Rose. But why would Derrick Rose want to go play with LeBron James after LeBron James got rid of his ass when that whole Cleveland Cavaliers experiment where you saw D Rose playing with LeBron on the Cavs, and it was a slew of guys. It was Derrick Rose, Isaiah Thomas, Dwayne Wade, Jay Crowder. You remember what LeBron James did to those dudes, man? He got rid of them. He shipped their ass out because it wasn't working the way he thought it was. If I was D Rose, man, I wouldn't even think about going over there. I would look at the Nets. I would look at the Warriors. These are the type of teams you need to go play on a contender, but don't go play with LeBron because Bron already put your ass on the chopping block. But it's gonna be an interesting season, man. And I don't think the Lakers are the favorites. I think we're gonna see another team emerge as a champion. Also, this season, fans, they gave me some hope. They gave me some glimmer of hope because these fans didn't respect that title. If you went on Twitter, dog, you saw the comments that these fans was leaving, man, on Twitter. They were saying that this championship was a fluke. This championship shouldn't be taken serious. LeBron won this championship because of the circumstances that he was in. I couldn't believe the comments that I was reading on Twitter. I was like, what? I can't believe this, man. I thought these fans was gonna eat up that BS title, but they didn't, man. They were very critical of LeBron James. They were very critical of that bubble. Listen, I'm just gonna throw out some numbers. In that last game of the finals, a normal NFL Monday Night Football game has double the amount of viewership over NBA Finals game, a closeout game. That Seattle Seahawks versus Minnesota Vikings had 11.6 viewers. The NBA Finals only had 5.4 million viewership. How the hell does a normal, a regular schmegular NFL Monday Night Football game have more viewership over NBA Finals game? LeBron, dog, they ain't looking out for you like that, bro. They ain't checking for you, bro. If that was Kobe, hell no. You know people tuning in. MJ, come on now. Do we even have to question that? LeBron, dog, they ain't checking for you like that, dog. They ain't checking for you. I'm done.
Exactly. Look, the Masked Singer beat out the NBA. Okay. So, I mean, nobody was checking for that. But I want to get back to some points you were talking about as far as the Golden State Warriors. A lot of people are not talking about the Warriors. And the Warriors to me have always been a team. I mean, because I'm not going to sit up here and front like you know, followed the Warriors for years. They started, becoming more popular in this day and age when they, 2015, when they started making their title run. I mean, of course, I know the history of, you know, Mitch Richmond and what's the white boy?
White chocolate.
What's his name? No, back in the day on Golden State Warriors.
Chris Mullin.
It was Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin. Right. So I mean, I know a bit of their history, but as far as the Golden State Warriors go, I'm looking forward to see what they're going to do in the draft. That's one thing I want to see what they're going to do. Are they going to keep that pick and dangle it out there and try to get something better, that's someone that's already established? Or are they going to actually go for someone like maybe, I think it's James Wiseman, the big man that can stretch the floor. He can do a little bit of everything. I've seen him. And the Golden State Warriors, they're that team, that organization, they move in silence. They always make big moves, or even their smaller moves can lead to, bigger things for them. And that's what they've been doing the last 5 years. Their owner even said, we are ahead of the curve. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what Golden State Warriors are going to do, because I like the organization. I like what they, have on the team. I do think they need to think about getting rid of Draymond Green, because I think he's just a glorified mole for LeBron. That's what I think he is. I think you got this guy cheerleading every time he's on TV now for LeBron. Like, I don't know. I mean, I know all of these guys are just a bunch of actors, but if we were talking about reality, like where we all sit, if I got a dude on my team that is, hugging and kissing somebody that we done beat for all of our titles, and now you glorifying him and calling him the best and saying he's the MVP, you done attacked the best player that we done had on the team in years to help us, I would have a side eye and I would probably want him out of there. So, Draymond he's definitely fallen on my shit list. I would not have any problem with the Golden State out of there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what the Golden State Warriors do. As far as the Brooklyn Nets, wow. When they moved to Brooklyn from New Jersey, I went and bought me a Nets hat, because I've been a lifelong Knicks fan, but they are in New York City. And I like the Nets, but I'm not really sure how this KD Kyrie thing is going to work. I think for it to work, one of them has to step up as a real bona fide leader. And I don't think either of them has full leadership capabilities. I think they have an ideal. I know he knows. I know you think that KD is a bona fide leader. He has that the word we all like, that people like to throw around today, that alpha. He has the alpha game. His game is great, but I'm not sure he has full leadership capabilities. And I think one of the times where he could have actually stepped up and shown himself as a leader is when Kyrie said that bullshit about I don't really see us having a coach. I mean, I can be the coach, you can be the coach, Jack Vaughn can be the coach. I mean, I think KD should have said, I get what you're saying, bro, but I think it's good to have that, you know, that coach there that to give us that perspective, off court perspective that we can't see when we're on the court, because everyone needs to be coached in some form. And I think that KD could have took that moment and you know, pushed back on Kyrie and said, hey, dude, listen, you know, I think we do need coaching. You know, it's time for everything. And coaching is something that we're going to need in, you know, the thick of the battle. So I don't really know if their games complement each other. I really don't. Um, I think if it's anybody's game that's going to be sacrificed, it's probably going to be KD to a certain extent, because even though his game is overall much better and leaps and bounds above Kyrie's, I think that there's going to be a little bit of push and pull in the beginning, because, you know, Kyrie, he has great skill, but I don't think he has the basketball intellect to go with the skill that he really has on the floor. The dribbling, the flashy moves, he can score with the best of them. All of that is great, but basketball is about making intelligent decisions at certain points of the game. When should I pass? When should I, you know, drive? When should I do this? When should I do that? And I just think that Kyrie is kind of like a Russell Westbrook that just doesn't pass as much, but he can score. So I think KD could have an issue with Kyrie moving forward, but I could be wrong. Maybe, as you guys were saying, maybe Kyrie has matured. You know, maybe he's going to see things from a different perspective when they get on, you know, get into this new season. So we'll see what happens, but it's interesting. I'm not really sure if it's going to work out, but that's my take on it thus far.
All right. I love this game. I like your points. You know what I'm saying? Everybody get that ether and Merkin, but you're going to get a gentleman's check-in. That I'm going to call that a gentleman's check-in. I'm about to check you real quick, but in gentleman style. Here's the thing.
Go ahead, check on, brother.
There you go. There you go. When we look at Kevin Durant and we look at what Kevin Durant brings to the table, we have to ask ourselves, what has he done when he's been put in a leadership position and he's been put in a position for him to win? In that situation in Oklahoma City Thunder, you know why I blame Kevin Durant on? Because people think that I just 100% agree with everything Kevin Durant does. I'm going to tell you guys the three weaknesses of, and when I say three weaknesses, I'm talking about the one weakness that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant has. A lot of people don't know this. I know their weakness, and I'm going to explain their weakness to the world. Michael Jordan's weakness was the fact that Michael Jordan was so enamored and self-absorbed in his basketball game. And if Michael Jordan didn't have Phil Jackson at that time, he would have been caught up in the give me the ball and get the fuck out of my way mentality. And that would have cost him from not being able to win a championship. That's why it was nice when he had the Tex Winners of the world and the Phil Jacksons of the world to ingratiate in his mind that, hold up, you got Scottie Pippen, you got all of these other people. You need to go ahead and get them involved, because Jordan was getting to a point where he was getting away from that North Carolina system and he was getting so self-absorbed in himself. If he would have done that, his NBA record would have been looking like LeBron's. No pun intended, but that's exactly what it would have looked like. He would have still won, but it would have looked like LeBron's. Now, Kobe Bryant's issue is Kobe Bryant shoots himself out of games. Win, lose, or draw, Kobe Bryant just will take whatever shot. He don't care where it's from. It's a pro, but it's also a con, because in the instance of Kobe Bryant would not always take the highest percentage shot. And if you look at the two NBA finals that he lost, Kobe Bryant's weaknesses were expounded. The Detroit Pistons expounded upon it, and the Boston Celtics expounded upon it. They just basically made Kobe Bryant shoot himself out. That's Kobe Bryant's weakness. You exploit that, you'll have a good chance against Kobe. Other than that, he's virtually weak. He virtually has no weaknesses. Same thing with Michael Jordan. Now, here's Kevin Durant's weakness. It's polar opposite from those guys. Kevin Durant is not vocal. He's a leader by action. Me, I'm a vocal person. So I like vocal people. I like people that get in your face, that people that challenge you from a leadership standpoint. So I love this game. That part of what you said was eloquent. It was astute. You hit it on the thumb and the needle. So the gentleman's check is not coming there. But you got to understand, Kevin Durant learned from that with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we have to remember what Steve Kerr said. When Kevin Durant came to the Golden State Warriors, he was surprised about Kevin Durant's basketball intelligence. He was surprised that Kevin Durant was able to figure things out so fast. Do you know how hard it is to play in a system where you have other guys that are ball dominant and ball oriented type of players? The reason why the Kyrie Irving situation is going to be seamless is because Klay Thompson has to have the ball in his hands for him to score. Stephen Curry has to have the ball in him for him to orchestrate. Kevin Durant proved to us as something as an NBA superstar we've never seen before, that he can score dominantly and efficiently. And that was the only point that everything else that I Love This Game said so eloquently, she missed. Kevin Durant plays off the ball off the charts. You forgot to mention that. He don't need the ball to score 30-something points on your ass. He don't need the ball to give you 50, 40, 90, 50, 40, 90. So that's why him and Kyrie Irving is going to mesh. Because Kyrie Irving can orchestrate the basketball, but Kevin Durant will still drop what Kevin Durant drops, because Kevin Durant can have, we've seen these games, he can have 12 touches and still drop 30 on your ass. He can have 14 touches and still drop 30 on your ass because Kevin Durant is so efficient. See, I talked about the 3 greatest scorers in basketball. Michael Jordan is the most assassin's mentality scorer the NBA has ever seen, the most cold-blooded assassin's mentality scorer. Kobe Bryant is the most fastest and most highest degree difficulty score the NBA has ever seen. Salute to you, intelligence cycle. But Kevin Durant is the most effortless and efficient scorer the NBA has ever seen. You will not see an anomaly like this guy, because he can do what Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant could do, but he do it at 7 feet. So that means he's able to be close to the rim. That's why it's everything Kevin Durant puts in the basket is cushion. Even his free throw percentage, when you look at Jordan, you look at Kobe, they're at 84, 85%. Kevin Durant is at damn near close to 90% free throw. His efficiency is off the fucking charts. It's off the charts. So with what Kevin Durant learned in the Golden State Warriors, and what people have to understand, he played there 3 years. And he was the leader of that team. And I Love This Game. I want you to go watch the podcast, All the Smoke, and go listen to Steve Kerr and what he said to Matt Barnes and what he said to Steven Jackson. And Steve Kerr talked eloquently on how Kevin Durant led that team those 3 years that he played. Even when he was injured, he was leading them from the sidelines. He was basically telling them what plays, what parts they need to execute down the stretch. So yes, he had his inept ways of being non-vocal with the Oklahoma City Thunder, but he learned from that mistake. And he said, I'm not going to let that ride no more. That's why you saw when he went to the Golden State Warriors, he said that Stephen Curry and all you motherfuckers need to ultimately, completely, unequivocally bend the fucking knee to my alpha game. That's why he was waiting for Stephen Curry to come out and say, Kevin Durant, this is unquestionably your team. If you notice, I Love This Game, he didn't sign until Stephen Curry came out and said, I don't mind being the number 2. You remember when Stephen Curry said that shit? Hey, I don't care if I'm number 1. I don't care if I'm number 1. I just care that, you know what I'm saying, I could play along. Once he said that, Kevin Durant learned that mistake he didn't learn from Russell Westbrook, which was to put Russell Westbrook in his fucking place and tell him, look, you are the number 2. You need to operate, live, and lane in your damn number 2. Because if I was playing with Russell Westbrook, and Richy Rich knows how I am, I'll fight him. I would hit him upside his head. I don't know how many times. Maybe I have to hit his head straight until he gets that he's number 2. That's just the way I roll. I throw basketballs at his ass until he gets that he's number 2. But Kevin Durant don't got that personality I got. His personality is more docile, and that worked against him. So he learned in those instances with Oklahoma City Thunder, that docile personality, he's actually going to have to become more vocal. And when Kevin Durant actually became more vocal, you know what they said? Oh, Kevin Durant's not being authentic. He's not being himself. You started to see his vocality with the media. You started to see his vocality when he said, this is a toxic as fuck, you know what, environment. Remember when he's talking about LeBron James? This is when Kevin Durant was starting to become more vocal, because he realized that, leadership requires you to be a totalitarian. It requires you to be a disciplinarian. It requires you to get in people's face. You got to be that motherfucker, like Kobe Bryant said in the Muse. If you guys remember Mamba Muse, when he was talking to Ahmad Rashad, and he said, I'm going to be that guy that if you're at dinner and I see, I love that, man. Kobe saying, I would do some fuck shit like that. If I see that you got food in between your teeth, I'm going to be the one to look at you and say, hey, you got food in between your teeth. You need to take that out. Do you know how uncomfortable it is for most people to say some shit like that? But a true leader will say that. That's what Kevin Durant has graduated to. But here's the caveat here. I love this game because that was the point that you missed. So here's where the gentleman check and come in. Kyrie Irving said that LeBron James, when I played with him, I had to take the clutch baskets because we know that LeBron James ain't clutch. But what did he say about Kevin Durant? That's not going to be the case for Kevin Durant. When I play with him, I'm bending the proverbial fucking needle. So right there, that tells you that he's towing the fucking line. And we have to wait and see when this season starts because they haven't played together yet how Kevin Durant operates. And what we're going to see is Kevin Durant really take this leadership mantle to the next level because Kevin Durant understands the full weight and the gravity of what the media is trying to do. This is why he's going to be ready this year because he knows he's Mr. Anti-LeBron. He knows he's the reason why the legacy was officially done. He knows why he's the reason why the cachet is officially over. All he has to do is put a re in front of the done and re in front of the over. And that's what's going to happen. These next 3 years, you're going to see Kevin Durant reign. And see, these next 3 years are going to certify, quantify, calculate, and verify Kevin Durant's dominance. Because once he wins in Brooklyn, nobody can sit here and say that he just ring chased with the Golden State Warriors. Because now he went to another team and proved that he could be a champion extraordinaire on that team. And hence the terminology, I love this game. It only applies to some people on the planet. I agree with you when you say everybody throwing around that terminology, but it applies to some. When he goes to Brooklyn Nets and he dominates, he is that true alpha extraordinaire governed by true alpha economics. Because he done went to another situation, he done dominated, and he done showed leadership personification. What they're doing with Kevin Durant is a simple terminology you've heard me say in videos. Greatness personification can only be hindered. It can't be stopped. When I say that terminology, it goes over a bunch of people's heads. I love this game. It's giving her goosebumps. I already see that. Richy Rich is giving you goosebumps. I already see that because you guys get what the terminology is all about. What it means is that people can try to hinder your greatness as much as they can, but they can't stop it because greatness is lethal. Greatness is not subjective. It's objective. That means it's all in your damn face. And that's what Kevin Durant did to LeBron James in 2017. That's what he did to LeBron James in 2018. Greatness personification showcased itself. Matter of fact, he dominated LeBron so bad that when they ran it back in 2018, LeBron said, hey, Cook, J.R. Smith, you go guard Kevin Durant. I don't want to end up on ESPN Top 10 Live. That's how much Kevin Durant's alpha game made LeBron James' beta game bend the fucking knee. He didn't even want to check him. So if anybody wants to know where LeBron James is at in terms of rivalry, because technically they are a rivalry, Kevin Durant has dominated LeBron James. He has a 67 percentile winning percentage in the NBA Finals against this guy. He's 9-5 against LeBron James. Why do you think there's so much hate and vitriol for Kevin Durant? Because Kevin Durant was the only one that said this was a toxic as fuck environment. He said all of these media heads, it ain't even about basketball. They're just freaking gargling the freaking LeBalls. And when LeBron James called him to say, hey, man, Kevin Durant stayed hold on what he said. And LeBron James had no choice but to bend the proverbial fucking knee. Matter of fact, that year, he in the All-Star game, you remember I love this game. You remember Richy Rich. He was begging Kevin Durant to come play with him. But Kevin Durant said, I got to be number one. You got to be number two. LeBron was like, eh. So Kevin Durant said, F you. Either I'm number one or I'm going to kill you. And that's what Kevin Durant did. He killed his ass twice. Damn, there should have been 3-0 against LeBron James, but they didn't want that 2012 I love this game to happen. You got to understand, Kevin Durant averaged 32 PPGs, and he wasn't even touching the free throw line. Y'all don't understand the level of greatness. See, me, I love this game. I want you to understand this. Richy Rich, I want you to understand this. When I say terminology, I don't just say it because it sounds cute. I say this shit because it's real. When I tell y'all motherfuckers, I'm not a regular cat, nor do I think regular, nor do I reside in regular realms. It's for a reason. I'm special. So I only beget special. So if I'm rooting for you, everything about your quality has to be special. And Kevin Durant's quality is special. This man averaged 32 points, 50, 40, 90, and he didn't even touch the free throw line but 2 attempts. Could you imagine if Kevin Durant touched 12? We're talking about averaging 50 points easily in the NBA Finals. We're talking about LeBron James losing in that 2012 and him becoming the biggest LeBust the NBA has ever seen. Kevin Durant would have had a clean 3-0 sweep on LeBron James, but they didn't want that to happen. That's why Kevin Durant cried. They say LeBron made Kevin Durant cried because he knew he was robbed. He went to go cry to his mom show. He'd be like, Mom, I can't believe they let Joel Anthony. If y'all motherfuckers are basketball heads, you know what I'm talking about. You feel some type of way of Joel Anthony of all people. That lumpy-headed motherfucker went to the free throw line more than fucking Kevin Durant. Are you fucking kidding me? A bench player. Kevin Durant went 2 attempts. I kid y'all not. Joel Anthony had 2.6. I still remember this because it hit in my head, and I was like, I can't believe this shit is happening. And then you have Russell Westbrook that thinks he was on the same level of Derrick Rose at that time. See, I blame that on Kevin Durant. Because of his docile ways, he just kind of let Russell Westbrook be the way he was. If it was me, y'all would have seen me get locked up. Y'all would have seen me get handcuffs on me because I would have been throwing basketballs at Russell Westbrook's head every time that he thought he was the number one option. Because I don't play those games. Richy Rich knows how many times me and you have rolled over in the basketball court because you done thought the game was that you were supposed to close the game out, and I want to fucking close the game out. Your ass trying to close the game out, and I say, give me the damn ball and get the fuck out of my way. And then what happens? We start tussling on the damn ground because my alpha ship tells me that I close out the game. How many times that shit not happen? See, this is what the leader's supposed to do. When it's him that's supposed to close that shit out, he got to be the authoritarian. And he don't care if he got to stumble across somebody. But I ain't going to lie. Richy was a little alpha too on the court. But hey, his shit ain't greater than mine. Fuck that shit. I want to close the game out. See, that's the problem with Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant has fixed that. Kevin Durant just never fully ingratiated and understood his alpha-ship on the basketball court. And I agree with you. I love this game from an Oklahoma City standpoint, but I think Kevin Durant matured and got it with the Golden State Warriors, and you're going to see it amplify with the Brooklyn Nets. This is why Kevin Durant is ready to make that move. That's why he made that move. He wouldn't have made that move if he wasn't comfortable to make that move. And usually when you see somebody make some moves, because they are already comfortable in their skin, that they know if they go somewhere else with that move, they will be fine. And let's talk about the Brooklyn Nets, because from a basketball standpoint, they're already better than Los Angeles Lakers. You're talking about Kyrie Irving on paper. You're talking about DeAndre Jordan on paper. You're talking about Spencer Dinwiddie on paper. You're talking about Kevin Durant. Excuse me. That starting core already supersede. What does the Los Angeles Lakers have outside of LeBron James and Anthony Davis that's going to mess with that? DeAndre Jordan can seriously give Anthony Davis problems. The problem with DeAndre Jordan is he was on a team that was doing Lob City shit. This ain't Loud City. And Steve Nash, low-key, was giving a lot of X's and O's with the Golden State Warriors. And he's going to bring that Phoenix Suns / Golden State Warriors type of up-tempo offense. It's going to work because Kyrie Irving is an orchestrator. There's nobody in the game of basketball that has better handles than Kyrie Irving. Nobody. He's the razzler dazzler. What do I call him, Richy Rich? Razzling, dazzling, Kyrie Irving. Ain't nobody ripping up no damn Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving will, man, I see, hey, the shit that I see this dude do with the basketball and the way he transitions and the way that he just stop and go, I'm telling you, that's some of the greatest handles I've ever seen. And the fact that Kobe Bryant was able to check that and block it, that just spoke volumes on the level. See, this is why LeBron James can't see no Kobe or no damn Michael Jordan. Kobe was able to block Kyrie off of Kyrie's dribble. That's why Jordan was like, oh my gosh, this dude is 35 years old, guarding the best point guards on the basketball court, and he's cursed just as much as me. Because Jordan did it with Iverson. You remember he was 35, and Iverson crossed Jordan, but Jordan didn't care. Jordan went back on the other side of the court and dunked on his ass. And then people forgot later on in that game, Jordan got a block on Iverson, but nobody talks about that because they remember the crossover. Jordan got his get back now. Because they curse just as much as they say. But when have you ever seen LeBron James try to check Derrick Rose in his prime? You guys remember that shit? When they played against Chicago Bulls, Derrick Rose was crossing LeBron James' ass up. LeBron James, after 2 times, LeBron said, I ain't guarding this dude no more. He embarrassing me. But see, these guys are cursed enough to do shit like that. Back to the context, because you know I always got to ether and murk LeBron. I'm always ready to ether and murk LeBron. But back to the context. We got to look at Kevin Durant. We got to look at Kyrie Irving. We have to look at their dynamics, but we got to let the season play itself out. See, that's the beauty of the new NBA season. We got to see what's coming. I think Kyrie Irving has a lot of pressure on him. I love this game and Richy Rich, and y'all got to think about that because Kyrie Irving has the full weight and the full brunt of Uncle Ruckus ass Kendrick Perkins, the most sellout bootlegging Negro ever to known to be man, always constantly getting on his ass. Don't you think Kendrick Perkins, every game Kyrie Irving play, Kendrick Perkins going to be right there to say, oh, man, you see this shit? Oh, man, you see that? Kyrie Irving knows that. So he's going to be monotone. And I believe him and Kevin Durant, they're going to make noise. Especially with Kyrie being the guy that went against LeBron James when he was trying to shut the NBA season down. Listen, y'all, the Brooklyn Nets, they coming. Y'all got to understand that. They ready. They coming. And what you're seeing right now is LBJ Riders Media is trying to paint a picture to try to slander the Brooklyn Nets because they know when the Brooklyn Nets are fully enacted, they're fully resuscitated, they're fully reconciliated, and they're fully revitalized, it is over for the Lakers. Matter of fact, I don't see the Lakers coming out of the West because I already told you it's KD versus Kawhi for the next 3 years. Because, see, people forget, Kawhi Leonard's coming back. Every time you do Kawhi like that, Kawhi come back on that ass. And when you give him a full, real NBA season, not this fraudulent, fluky, on-the-spot NBA title, least path of resistance NBA title, not this NBA pickup or what we call NBA bubble, isolated from reality, or i.e. illusion basketball, he's going to be restored back to the natural order of things. See, basketball is going to get back to its natural order of things, meaning the NBA ratings are going to be garbage, y'all. Why do you think the NBA rating was so garbage? It's because who wanted to see LeBron James win a easy as fuck title? Everyone knew. Like, that's why you see the uproar. But he knows his sport got to get the credit here. Because I was the only content creator that was on 100% status. I love this game. You know it. Richy, you know it. I was the only motherfucker consistently saying this was a fraudulent, fluky, on-the-spot NBA title. There was people that was pandering for LeBron on the back end and then on the front end criticizing LeBron. I never did no fuck shit like that. LeBron got unlimited pressure of criticism. And I said this was going to be a Mickey Mouse title, and that's exactly what it was, a Mickey fucking Mouse title. The bottom line is this. When the Brooklyn Nets come back, we just got to wait and see what they're going to bring to the table. All I got to do is wait and see if Kevin Durant's 100%. That's all I'm waiting for. If he ain't 100%, then I don't even care about Kyrie. I don't even care about all this. If Kevin Durant's not 100%, this thing don't fly. Because let's keep it real. One thing Stephen A. Smith said that was true, and I got to give him credit, was this was a package deal. Brooklyn Nets wasn't looking at Kyrie. We got to call a spade here. They were looking at Kevin Durant, and they needed Kevin Durant to be there in order for them to get the package deal of Kyrie Irving. And here's the last caveat, I love this game, of the gentleman's check. Kyrie Irving is playing in his hometown. Don't forget that. When players play in their hometown, there's an extra motivation behind that. We've seen that. We've seen it. This is his hometown. He's from Brooklyn, man. So he's going to play extra hard. I saw the other day when they were interviewing him, and he said, man, I'm back home. You know what I'm saying? I'm rocking with my team. You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling some type of way. And we all know, man, there's one team in New York that's going to reign. It ain't going to be no New York Knickerbockers. It's going to be the Brooklyn Nets. And Brooklyn Finest is going to be exactly what it is, Brooklyn's Finest. I've been to Brooklyn recently, and it has gentrified. So at the same note that Brooklyn has gentrified, guess what? The team has also gentrified too. So meaning that the team is transformative. The team is going to go into a transformer ways. And last time I checked, they got some heavyweights that's moving that team. Jay-Z. See, people don't give Jay-Z enough credit. Behind the scenes, Rock Nation Sports, they're doing their fucking thing. What's the name of the owner? Mikhail Prokop. I can't say his fucking name. That dude's been doing some things. Him and Alibaba, because people forget it's him and Alibaba that owns the team. We got to start giving these people credit because they've systematically found a way to piece a team together. And I don't think the Brooklyn Nets are done. I think there's going to be one more blockbuster deal to where they're going to seal one more player in. And when they do that and they get that one more player, it's over. And that's all I got to say with that. I digress, and I leave the floor open for anyone that got any, you know what I'm saying, comments on the back end. I love this game. You got any comments, Rich? I digress.
Yeah, I do actually. One thing I will say about the whole leadership aspect, I think it also takes a great leader to be able to take a step back. And I think that when KD came to the Warriors, I don't think Steph had the mindset of, oh, I'm the best, I'm better
Mm-hmm.
than him, he's gonna follow me type of mindset. I think that I do think that Steph is a good leader. I know you don't think that. I know
Yeah,
you.
high
What do you
octane
call him? A
beta,
high
aka Alpha
octane beta,
Wannabe.
something like that. You call him, right? I don't agree with that shit either. I think that Steph is a good leader because it takes a good leader to have someone. I mean, come on, we saw what Steph was becoming before KD came to that team. They started treating this man. I mean, they were watching his warm-ups, his dribbling warm-ups, for God's sake. It was a big old
Mm-hmm.
story on ESPN every fucking night. It was getting to the point where people were starting to hate Steph because they started licking
Mm-hmm.
him the way they lick LeBron to some extent. It was even making LeBron upset. LeBron was crying in the car every night because they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about Steph so much. It even got to a point where Stephen A said
Mm-hmm.
that Steph was the best player in the world. So when KD came to the team, Steph he was already
Mm-hmm.
built up to a certain figure where he was respected and he was considered, one of, if not the best player in the NBA. Maybe not to everyone who watches the game of basketball, but he already had that big stature. So I think it takes a great leader to allow another man, another woman to come in and play a bigger role than you, because sometimes you have to be able to let that person know. It's psychological warfare to a certain extent also, because if you are a great leader and you know that you're dealing with somebody who has leadership capabilities or they have characteristics of a leader like
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Durant does, you have to be able to, extend some type of confidence to them and let them know that, listen, I'm not here to battle you. We here to do this together for the betterment of the team. So I think what Steph did and KD coming over and doing what he was able to do,
Mm-hmm.
I think that shows leadership in Steph. And as far as the Brooklyn Nets go, I just think that I think Kyrie has to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing that's very important. I know you say you it's all about KD staying healthy, and you're right. Because if KD go down, that's it. Because I'm rooting for the Nets.
Done.
I'm rooting for the Brooklyn Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like I said, I'm not a Kyrie fan. Like I don't, live and die by Kyrie, but I like to see his game. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm I gained more respect for him when he left LeBron. That's
Mm-hmm.
when I was like, okay, I got respect for this brother because he was out and he wasn't trying to pander to the media when they was asking him, what are you doing? Why? How can you leave LeBron? I mean, you didn't talk to him first. I mean, why would you do that? I mean, and one thing, speaking of this, I'm just going to throw this out here real quick. When LeBron first came back to Cleveland, one
Mm-hmm.
of the media members had the audacity to ask Kyrie, is LeBron like a father figure to you?
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was mind blowing to me that they would even fix themselves to ask a man who's also making millions of dollars a
Mm-hmm.
stupid ass question like that. I mean, how belittling was that to ask him that question? And his response was, he was like, well, I already have a father, um, and I would have blew up at them. I would have killed them with a lot of, you know, just it was just a crazy question. But this is how they think about LeBron, So I was glad that he left, but he has to stay healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that's really what it's all about. If he can stay healthy and they can mesh when it comes to certain points of the game, because
Mm-hmm.
we all know they can score. And as you were saying before, that's Kevin Durant's, that's the one of the best parts of his game. The fact that he can play off the ball. He doesn't need the ball. He doesn't have to, dribble the ball up to the top of the key and make sure
Mm-hmm.
everybody's in their spot so they can make him look good so he can pass the ball out to them with 3 seconds left and hope that they hit a three. He doesn't have to do anything like that. He doesn't have to play like LeBron, Jalik, in order to make impact on the game. Um, so I think they can do well. But it's not just about those two men. It has to
Mm-hmm.
be about all the men. They all
Mm-hmm.
have to come together and play as a collective unit, play their roles the right way, and
Mm-hmm.
one man can't try to rise above the other.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they can do that, they will be special. And I'm looking forward to seeing the Brooklyn Nets, because the media is going to be coming for them, because they want LeBron. They think they set up for another LeBron championship run again. You know,
Mm-hmm.
when he came back to Cleveland, they thought he was going to run through and win 3-4 championships. It didn't happen. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully we're setting ourselves up again for, you know, this dude to be where he's supposed to be, you know, on the losing end of the NBA season. So that's my take so far on that.
All right, now I got to double back on that gentleman check, because you know I like this little back and forth with us, so I'm doubling back.
Go ahead,
'Cause you
brother.
know me,
Whatever makes you feel good inside.
I got to double back. You said Stephen Curry, you didn't believe that he was a high octane beta, aka alpha wannabe. We gonna examine that. How do
Okay.
you determine leadership? Do you determine leadership off of the strength of just being a leader in all instances? Or do you determine leadership when it's all said and done, how somebody handles in pressurized situations?
In all aspects, in pressurized situations also, can you be more specific? Are you alluding to how Steph handles last second shots, how he handles situations like
Okay, I'm
that
I'm
three
gonna
that
go in
he
depth.
missed, that three that he missed in game 6, that type of stuff?
Okay, I'm gonna wait in depth. Here's the thing: in basketball, in sports, we determine the ultimate totality of things is how you win or you lose. It's all about the W and it's all about the L when it's all said and done,
Agreed.
right? So as a leader, your job is to lead the team to the promised land. And your job is to also orchestrate how you perform in those pressurized situations that lead you to that promised land. Now, Stephen Curry, we're going to examine him. In the instances when Stephen Curry was under pressurized situations, how did his leadership cope? That's my question to you.
I get where you're going, but I'll my pushback to you would be
Mm-hmm.
the old adage: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
make him drink.
Mm-hmm.
So a leader can do everything that they're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and if everyone around them is not doing what they're supposed to do, you're still going to have the same result. It's going to be a loss. It's going to be a loss. Now, are there certain aspects when that said leader or those said individuals aren't doing their part where they are supposed to step up in those big moments? Absolutely. I agree with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that even as a leader coming out there doing what they're supposed to do, if other people aren't doing what they're going to do, I don't really think that's necessarily a referendum on the leader. Because as I said, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't
Mm-hmm.
make him drink. So
I disagree with that, and I'm gonna tell you why I disagree with that. You notice I got on Kevin Durant with the Russell Westbrook situation. You know why?
mhm,
Because when it's all said and done, as the leader, regardless if you did everything that you were supposed to do or you weren't supposed to do everything you're supposed to do, it falls on you. And you notice with Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and they're to me the greatest example of leadership. When their teams didn't do what they were supposed to, they put that shit on them. They didn't care that if the responsibility was on them or not. A leader knows that when it's all said and done, whether it's you directly, you intrinsically, or you extrinsically, it falls on you. So I see what you did with Stephen Curry, but that was a cop out because Stephen Curry, at the end of the day, the leadership role has to fall on him. That's what leadership's all about. You take the responsibility, win, lose, or draw. You got to hold the accountability because when it's all said and done, you got the L title behind you. You have that C title, captain, behind you. So if your team loses, there was something in your leadership that lacked. So there was something that lacked with Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook. This is something that can't be refutable because this is leadership at its highest levels. This is leadership one-on-one. When you're the leader, you got to take the accountability regardless because that's what a leader is supposed to do. Now, in pressurized situations, the reason why I said Stephen Curry is a high-octane beta, aka alpha wannabe, is because that first NBA Finals, Steve Kerr was the leader. He had to yell Chef Cook back into him. I mean, Matthew Dellavedova should not have had that kind of defensive stretch that he had on Stephen Curry. See, you laughing because you know it's true. And Steve Kerr at game 4 had to yell it. Do you not know? I want y'all to do an inside cam on game 4. He looked at Stephen Curry and said, do you not know who you are? You are Chef Curry with the pot. Once he said that to him, it's like he yelled greatness. You don't do that to a leader. A leader should already know you can't mess with me. It's like with Kevin Durant and Patrick Beverly. When they was trying to say, hey, you did, Patrick. Do you not know who I am, Kevin Durant? And Kevin Durant came back in the next game. See, I love this game. No, I'm bringing that heat. That's why she turned that cam off. I'm bringing that heat.
Boy,
and
please.
that fire.
I'm doing something that
You're
I
right.
don't
I'm
want y'all
bringing
to see.
that heat and that fire. And I'm keeping the foot on the what? On the
Stop
neck.
it.
Keeping
Stop
the foot
it.
on the what? On the next.
Yeah.
To bet in mischief, though. Hey, it is what it is. You know me. I love free smoke. I love to throw it right back at you. Bottom line is this. Because you know I'm heating up right now. Stephen Curry had to get Dominic's yelling to him. That's when I knew. I said, okay, the jury out on Stephen Curry right there. Matthew Dellavedova, that shit wasn't supposed to happen. Then I said, okay, he came back. But guess who was the leader on that team? It was Andre Iguodala. Because Andre Iguodala did the most leadership thing that you could do. He shut LeBron James down. That's why he deserved the Finals MVP. You want to know what leader stands for? It's that person that walks away with that award in its rightful position. I ain't talking about LeBron's Finals MVPs because we know there's little asterisk. I'm talking about everybody else that wins it the right way. Andre Iguodala was the leader that year, and you know you can't dispute that. Now let's fast forward. Kevin Durant won that first Finals MVP. You remember that? No. Before we even touch that, we're going to talk 2016. 2016, Stephen Curry let LeBron James punk his ass. You remember Richy Rich? LeBron blocked him. You remember I love this game? LeBron blocked him. This was for Stephen Curry to show.
So much.
This was for Stephen Curry to show that he was unquestionably better than LeBron. He let LeBron punk him. He let LeBron and them come back on that ass. Y'all remember that shit? I was like, what? Nah. The Golden State Warriors is up. Draymond Green already set the settings. If Stephen Curry wanted to show he was a leader, why not continue to close it out? You already up. You let LeBron come back and punk you. LeBron, the highest variation of high octane beta AK Alpha 1. You let him? And you wanted to show me you was a leader unquestionably? That's what you should have done. This is where Stephen Curry's leadership come into question. I love this game. See, he done turn it off. That's that heat and that fire, though. It done turn it off. I get it. The heat and the fire coming. I'm keeping the foot on the what? On the next. I'm keeping the foot on the what? On the next. That's right. Stand in the heat. Stand in the heat knows the sport heat. Stand in that kitchen. Either you're going to get burned and crispy, charred up, or you're going to take the heat. Because pressure is either you're best friends with it or it bursts his freaking pipes. So I guess you want to be best friends with it. Now let's get back to it. Because you know you're feeling some type of way about 2016. In 2016, we have to look at what happened with Stephen Curry. He didn't show up. And he let LeBron James do a tombstone. You remember that shit? A tombstone on LeBron, the biggest loser in NBA history, do a tombstone of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson. Why do you think he did that? It's because Stephen Curry folded under pressure. So this is two instances where this supposed leader folded under freaking pressure. And if KD wasn't needed, why did they beg for the KD? Why during that Oklahoma series they were begging for KD? Because they needed that over-the-top player. They needed that guy, that equalizer. You know, no pun intended, Denzel Washington. They needed that equalizer because they realized LeBron already had got in Stephen Curry's head. That's when I knew all of Stephen Curry's leadership was questioned at that point. Because truth be told, I love this game. Let's keep it real. If Kevin Durant did not come on that team and LeBron was already psychologically up here, that next year it would have been the Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors, and LeBron would have whooped his ass. Because LeBron was already up here. He was living rent and space free in his head. Yes. I know you don't agree with it, but it's facts. If that wasn't the case, they wouldn't have gone and got Kevin Durant. They wouldn't have begged. Draymond Green begged like boys to men, like he was on bended knee.
Oh,
Klay Thompson begged like he was Keith Sweat. Stephen Curry begged like he was Keith Sweat. You know what I'm saying? They were begging. Steve Kerr begged. Bob Myers begged. Everybody begged. Joe Lacob begged.
I agree with that.
So why would they beg for Kevin Durant's services if Stephen Curry was bona fide the leader? Because if Stephen Curry ended LeBron in 2016, there would be no need for Kevin Durant. You see what I'm saying? There would be no need for the equalizer. There would be no need for that. But I see what's going on. Now I'm going to ask you another question. Yeah, I want to see if it give you goosebumps or not. Do you have a crush on Stephen Curry?
Do I have a crush on Stephen Curry?
This is a quick question. Do you have a crush on Stephen Curry?
No, I don't crush on celebrities.
No, I'm just saying, do you when I say crush, not like you're enamored with him, blah blah blah. Do you think he's cute?
He's an attractive brother, yeah, but that has
There go
nothing to
your
do with his
bias.
game.
There go your bias. There go your bias. You see, I knew it. I knew it.
Oh,
There go your
sweet.
bias.
Only if you knew.
There go
Only
your
if you
bias.
really
See?
knew.
No, 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 no,
Stop
no,
it.
no, 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 no,
Stop
no, no.
it.
Because
Stop it. Let's not go there. Richy, how you been dealing with this man's mouth for all these years?
Yeah, usually because I'm peeling the layers
You
of the
wrong
onion
for
here.
that one. You wrong for that
Gotta
one. No,
do it
you're very wrong.
because you have a little bias there because you probably look
No,
at the baby face assassin. I know, and
no.
I heard people say that. I heard them
I don't
say
give a
that.
fuck about any of that.
Oh, okay. I'm glad. You see,
Trust me.
Now the bullhorn's coming out. The bullhorn's coming
I don't
out.
give a fuck about none of that.
Okay, so why when I'm giving you cold-hearted,
Because
unadulterated, and cutthroat truth teller fashion, you trying to go against it? Because remember what the truth is.
I'm not
The
saying I
truth
disagree
cannot
with
be
you.
argued upon. It can't be argued against. You either in line with the truth or you in erroneous ways. So which one is it? Which
Are
one
you
is
going to
it?
either get down or be put down? That's what you're
No,
saying?
it ain't even about that. It ain't even about. It's about the truth. Because the truth
No,
hurts, but it will set you free.
I don't disagree with you in totality of what you're saying. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just talking about certain aspects of what you're saying. Like, I mean, you said so much. That's the only thing, and I'm trying to get back to different bullet points that you made.
Mm-hmm.
But for example, KD coming over to the Warriors. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
before that happened, let's go back to that series. That
Mm-hmm.
series, one of the weakest links in that series was Harrison Barnes.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Barnes, did you see what he averaged in that finals? If that man would have made, I don't know, 2 shots in that game 7, they would have won. Okay. And that's without Stephen Curry actually stepping up. And I mean, he pissed me off at the end of the game because he was doing all of this playing around with Kevin Love, and he allowed Kevin Love's slow ass to put some pressure on him. All he had to do was go by him. But what I'm not totally disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is I don't think you give him enough credit for what he can do. His game is predicated on shooting the ball anyway. His game is predicated on shooting the three. And he can also play off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so listen, I don't disagree with what you're saying in totality. I
Mm-hmm.
agree with what you're saying when it comes to KD's game. I love KD's game.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that when it comes to isolated situations,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that necessarily means that a person should be exempt from being a leader.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I'm saying. I just think that I don't
Well,
think
this is my thing. Just because we got a lovely face on the panel, that don't mean you ain't like not gonna get free smoke. You gonna get free smoke. This is what the panel's all about.
what is this man talking about?
Everybody gotta get checked. You know what I'm saying? They call me Mr. Checks for a reason. I checks and balance your ass like the U.S. Treasury, dog. This is like the separation of powers. So I'm pulling your feet to the fire here. I hear what you're saying about Harrison Barnes, but we got to come back and keep the foot on the necks again. Because you see it telling me about Harrison Barnes on one end, right? But who was passing the ball to Harrison Barnes? It was Stephen Curry. So if you knew Harrison Barnes was screwing up as the leader, as the orchestrator, because last time I checked, the point guard is what? The floor general. He's supposed to be the extension of the coach on the basketball court. If you knew Harrison Barnes was screwing up, why are you running the ball to him? Do you know how many plays where Harrison Barnes shot the ball and guess who passed it to him? Stephen Curry. So why did he do that?
You know what though? I think if you really okay, let's look at it like this. I think you might be giving Steph too much responsibility because say it again.
He's the point guard. The floor general gets all the responsibility.
You're absolutely right. I play point. I know what a point guard's job is. I know what a point guard's job is. But Steph, I don't look at him as the point guard, to be honest with you.
Then what is he?
A lot, because he didn't do a lot of the facilitating. A lot of the facilitating on that team is done by Draymond Green, first of all. Okay. Now you could be a point guard on paper, like LeBron James was this season. Okay, or you're a small forward on paper, but you really play the point guard position. That's what LeBron has been doing his whole career. He's a small forward on paper, but he plays point. I don't give a fuck if he doesn't bring the ball up. Once the ball gets past half court, he's gonna shoot out to the top of the key or the top of the elbow and get the ball anyways and go right back into what he would have done if he dribbled the ball up the court. So what I'm saying is maybe you are putting too much responsibility on Steph, because I don't think he ever really was that. I just think he was just a great shooter. That's what he is. He's a great fucking shooter. I don't think he has a pure point guard mindset. Now, if you want to say that doesn't make him a leader, that makes him a high octane beta, fine. I'll bow out gracefully with you on that. But I think that he does have the ability to be a great point, because I've seen him facilitate. But his game is predicated on stretching the floor and making people keep an eye on him, because he moves without the ball gracefully. He moves without the ball. He's always going around those screens. That's his game. His game is about trying to get open, try to get that shot, try to get that long three up, try to get that's what he does. And he has a nice mid-range game also. So I don't even think he thinking about all of this that we're talking about now. I never looked at Steph as a floor general. Never. So
now, I love this game. There's what you say, and there's what you believe, and there's what you think, and then there's the facts. Because Steve Kerr said that Stephen Curry is the floor general. Stephen Curry is the catalyst. Stephen Curry is the leader. We've heard Draymond Green say this. We've heard Klay Thompson say this. Remember when they won the NBA championship? I remember when they walked the parade. This is what they said. So
that doesn't mean he can't be a leader, though.
I hear what you're saying, and actually, I agree with what you're saying, because what you're saying is you're buffering my point of him being a high-octane beta, aka alpha wannabe. I knew you would come my way. I knew you would swing around my way. You would swing around my curve. I knew you would get it. That part of it, you see it. But the problem is, this is what Steve Kerr said. He said he was the leader. This is what Klay Thompson said. This is what Draymond Green said. And if Draymond Green is the one orchestrating your offense, no wonder they lost the way that they freaking lost. Why the hell is he orchestrating your damn offense?
Yeah, because he's actually no threat offensively.
Exactly. It should be Stephen Curry. See,
someone who facilitates needs to be. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm always going to judge I love this game players at the highest levels. Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant spoiled me. They ruined it for everybody. They ruined it. Because if you ain't playing on that level, I'm sorry. I'm picking you apart. And what I see from Stephen Curry, I see some inept ways. Kevin Durant. Now let's fast forward it. Because, I'm 2-0 right now. So we're going to be 3-0 right here. We're going to bring up the third topic. Stephen Curry had the opportunity by Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant said, here, win the finals MVP. You heard this, Richy Rich?
Yes, he was force-feeding him. He was force-feeding him.
What the hell happened to Stephen Curry? He couldn't even do that. And Kevin Durant had to say, okay, look, I'm trying to make you look good. You ain't trying to look good. We can't lose to LeBron. So let me get this thing back. I'm the leader. I'm going to lead this charge. And he just basically told him, get the hell out the way and let the leader do what he do best. You see what I'm saying? I have 3 examples in front of me that tells me that I don't have a problem with Stephen Curry. I just look at Stephen Curry as a number 2. I look at Stephen Curry as what we call a general manager. Necessarily a general manager is not necessarily a leader. It's just necessarily a person that knows how to delegate. Just because you know how to delegate, that don't mean you know how to lead. That's what I look at when I see Stephen Curry. He's a delegator. But Kevin Durant was the leader because Kevin Durant knew in situational moments, in key moments, how to get the job done. See, I don't have a problem with Stephen Curry. I just have an issue when people try to overrate Stephen Curry because I saw what Stephen Curry did in front of me. And to me, it was high octane beta, aka alpha wannabe ability. And I'm going to always stick and whole serve to that. That don't mean that he's not a very good basketball player. No, he is. But he's not great. And I don't use the word, you throw around great the way everybody else throw it around. Great to me is Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard. That's what great is. Like great don't come out of my mouth often like that. LeBron James not great to me. And I know that's going to make people cringe, but he's very good. Stephen Curry's not great to me. He's very good. You see what I'm saying? Russell Westbrook is good. James Harden is good. Luka Doncic is good. Like, I judge this thing so difficult and so highly level that any little thing that you do when in pressurized situations, if you keep making issues and you keep making constant mistakes, especially when now this situation is being force-fed to you. If Stephen Curry wanted the game my favor, when Kevin Durant was trying to get him to win this thing, he should have went out there and win it. Now I would say, okay, he get a little asterisk. I give him a little asterisk. Okay, he went out there and he did his thing. Now he got some evidence. He don't have no evidence. And here's the other thing, too, I love this game. He don't got no finals MVPs. So how you want the 4 NBA finals, am I correct? And he won 4, and you got 0 finals MVP.
He went to 5-1-3.
Yeah, 5-1-3. I mean, come on. Like, something's wrong with that picture. How you going to let Andre Iguodala house you for a finals MVP? How you going to sit there and get housed? Was it Draymond Green that won the other one?
No.
Who else won the other one?
KD won 2. And
KD won 2. Oh, KD won 2. And then Andre Iguodala. How you going to sit there and get housed by, well, you going to get housed by Kevin Durant. But how you going to get housed by Andre Iguodala? I mean, come on. It don't make no sense. See, what Stephen Curry does, it's prevalent to a fighter in boxing. I don't know if you follow boxing. His name is Zab Judah. And Tony Romo's like that in football. It's called front runner tendency. We give you all of the great exploits in the first half, but in the second half, we show up. We nut up. We choke. That's what Stephen Curry is. He's great in the regular season. He's great in the first half of the playoffs. But come round 3 and up, he fucking disappears. He don't give me what I need. Yeah, and when he does give me what I need, it's in pockets. So I can't trust that.
I agree with you on that. One thing that always has frustrated me about Steph in that 5-year run was that he came up short in the biggest moments. Mm-hmm. So I agree with you on that. Because he had many opportunities where it was just laid out for him to just like take that mantle and just run with it. So I agree with you on that. But one thing I will say about Steph, and you can't say this about many guys in the NBA, he's one of the few guys in the NBA that an aspect of his game is feared by the opposition. And he is feared by the opposition. You know, you got KD.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that to a certain. It ain't Kevin Durant level fear, but I agree with you to a certain degree. Yeah, when he's going off, yeah.
Right. They fear his shot, and he has stretched the floor miles beyond it we've ever seen it stretched. So that's one thing that Steph has done. He puts a lot of fear into the opponent's hearts when it comes to stretching the floor. And because of him stretching the floor, we see guys out here stretching the floor. You got you got Dame Lillard, all of that. So he is one of the guys that is feared, one of the few guys that's feared in the NBA. And KD obviously is the biggest one, you know. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying. In the small areas that he should have shown up, he didn't, and that's a big knock against Steph, and that's why there's gentlemen like you who feel the way that you do about him. I understand where you're coming from, I do, but he still, hopefully, he got a lot of ground to make up though. So I don't know if he's gonna be able to do it, but we'll see.
And the word fear is excessive, man. See, there you go. They
fear you. So you telling me guys don't fear Steph's game?
They respect. They don't fear. Fear. No. You see, this is what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like Meek Mill say, there's levels to this stuff, y'all. They fear Kevin Durant. They utterly are petrified of Kevin Durant. But that's not the same level of fear that they have for Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry is more respect. Okay, I respect his shot. But there's a blueprint on how to guard him, because if I have a more physical, taller defender, I can shut him down. We've seen that. But can you shut down Kevin Durant? No, you fucking can't. You're just going to have to eat that shot in your damn face. It's going to be crook a little. That's what it's going to be. It's fear. That's unquestionable fear. But Stephen Curry, it's respect. See, there's levels to this, man. I can't say fear with Stephen Curry. Because to me, that's like giving him Kevin Durant level. No, he don't get that. He will never get that. Now, he has opportunities to prove it. I'm not saying that Stephen Curry doesn't have the potential to prove more to me because there's more in his career left. But for right now, he's what he is. He's one of those guys that's like straddling in defense between option 1 and option 2. He's like right in the middle of that. He's unique in that regard. I don't think there's any other player in NBA history that does that straddles in that fence. But he does kind of straddle in that fence. But you can't definitively say he's an option 1. You see what I'm saying? And there's times where you can't definitively say that he's option 2. He straddles in between the both. That's what I look at when I look at Stephen Curry. A guy that has the potential, and he's still in potential realm. He just hasn't fully realized it yet. But Kevin Durant is fully realized. Michael Jordan is fully realized. Kobe Bryant is fully realized. Kawhi Leonard is fully realized. These guys are fully realized because in pressurized situations, they handled it. And to be honest with you guys, when we sit here and we look at Kyrie Irving's handled pressurized situations better than Stephen Curry. I'm sorry to say this. He was busting Stephen Curry's ass. Busting his ass up. I'm not saying he's a better leader, but he was busting his ass up. So I'm just saying for me, when it comes to Stephen Curry, I digress. I said what I had to say, but I'm gonna be honest. I love this game. He knows had to come out and bring the good stuff. I mean, that's the first time Richy Rich. Somebody made me have to. I mean, she lost. You're gonna take your L. It was a gentleman L. You taking it with good stride. You lost, but you made me come out with all of my good stuff, and I gotta give you all the credit in the world. You handled she handled a L in the best way that you could possibly handle an L. She handled it. It was beautiful. It was an L nevertheless, but she handled it. Richy Rich, what you got to say?
Whatever makes you sleep comfortably at night, brother.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, both of you went at it, man. I mean, that was a good panel there, man, between you two. Handle yourself well. You didn't go out of character, that's how it's supposed to be done, respectively.
There you go.
Yeah, Steph, he had his time, man. He just blundered the moments, man. It was laid out for him. It's practically laid out for him. They were trying to shift the face of the league to him, because he was getting all those suburban kids, those Caucasian parents that, their children. They were shifting more towards Curry, man, because he has that safe, innocent look, and he was doing it big, man. That year he was number 1 in all-star votes. I mean, his shoes were what shoes does he wear again? He wears Under Armour. That his shoe, yeah, his brand and his shoes were doing well. Everything, the Curry stock was going up, man. But Curry, man, he blundered those moments, man. Because he didn't step up against LeBron James in 2016. He could have really this would have been his league. This would have been his league if he would have won those finals, man. Even if they would have won Game 7, because he had a tough series. Even if he would have won that Game 7, just close it out. You would have got the Finals MVP, and this league would have been yours. But he let LeBron James have life, man. LeBron was able to regain some type of life, and he was able to win a finals coming back down off of 3-1. You don't want to be attached to something like that when you're up 3-1, and when you're up 3-1 and you allow a team to come back and win on you. But in that case, it was LeBron, so the media made it even bigger. They hyped it up even bigger that he was able to come behind 3-1 on the team that won 73 in 9 games. They were hyping them up to be the best team in NBA history. They won more games than the Chicago Bulls, but they couldn't get it done against LeBron and the Cavs. And LeBron was able to win, and that was a series that LeBron said he felt that he was the GOAT, because he beat the 73 and 9 team. Curry was they were trying to shift away from LeBron, and they were trying to make Curry the next face. And LeBron felt threatened by that. He hated on Curry that whole year. He was actually the leader amongst his peers that was hating on Curry. He didn't like that they were calling Curry the best player in the game. And you saw it in that whole series. He kept cursing at Curry. He was saying some foul stuff to Curry. Every chance he had to trash talk Curry in that series, he did it. And that's the problem. Curry just stood there and took it. And he didn't try to combat LeBron at all in that series, man. He just Curry looked like that little kid, man, playing that little brother playing his big brother on the court, man. And his big brother is he's just constantly spanking you on the court, and then you just don't have no answer for your big brother. That's what it looked like, man. That series, man, looked very awkward to me from Curry. And then there was a like when you guys mentioned the series where Kevin Durant was basically giving Curry, the opportunity to win the Finals MVP. And the game before, I believe Curry made 8 threes, the most threes ever made in the finals or something like that consecutively. He got that record, but the game 3, he goes and he lays an egg, and Kevin Durant has to close that game out by 43 points with the game sealing shot, where LeBron James he told J.R. Smith to go guard Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant still made that shot from pretty much almost half court, and he pretty much just put his stamp on the series that this was going to be a sweep. Curry and Klay Thompson, man, they decided they're gonna lay one of the hugest eggs that they possibly could in that game 3, when both of them cats can't hit a shot, and Kevin Durant was just, he was just picking his spots, and he was like, okay, you guys aren't playing well, but I'm gonna still give you an opportunity. But it got to that point where KD just like, man, I gotta take over this game, because if I don't, they're gonna win. They're gonna win a game in this series when pretty much we're supposed to sweep these dudes. So Kevin Durant pretty much had to put his stamp of approval, and we know how it ended. That man got another Finals MVP. So Stephen Curry had another opportunity. The last year's finals against the Raptors, where KD goes down. This is a perfect opportunity for him to show that, okay, listen, and listen, that thing was a battle. The Raptors didn't just win that series handily. They had to work. They had to play hard for that series. And Clay was looking more of an alpha than Stephen Curry in that series. Before that injury, before that ACL tear, Clay looked like he was the guy. He was becoming the guy to take the big shots, to make the big decisions on the court. Stephen Curry they were throwing a box and one on him, but he couldn't figure out how to beat it. Every time they threw like a defensive strategy at Steph that was working the majority of the series, man. And Steph, man, I don't know, he can't play against physical defense. When you put a physical defense on him, he disappears. And when you play like that, man, you can't be the guy. You can't be the go-to guy. He's had too many of those moments where he's disappeared he has no answer for when the team throws their best defenders, or they throw a physical style of defense on him. Pretty much when they put some bodies on him, he can't figure out how to beat it. So Stephen Curry, man, he's just not that guy, like Eno says, he's a very good player, but he's just not a great player. He's not on that echelon like a Kevin Durant. He's not on that echelon like a Kawhi. And you can't put him above LeBron James. I don't really like LeBron's game, but I wouldn't put Stephen Curry over LeBron. That's just the fact.
I feel the same way too.
I wouldn't put him over LeBron. So that's where he's at. He's a player that's under LeBron James. But listen, it's not a knock on his game. That man still got 3 championships. You know what I'm saying? And he still has an opportunity to make something of his career, at least because they're going to retool the Warriors. That they're not going to let this man waste his prime. They're going to make moves. They got a lot of assets, and they're gonna be very aggressive on trying to make that team a contender right away. Stephen Curry still has a chance. If that team comes out of the West, you get into the finals again. Hey, who knows? Stephen Curry might be able to win another Finals MVP. And with him doing that, maybe the narrative changes. So his book hasn't been like I said, his book hasn't been written off yet. I ain't gonna write him off yet because they were saying stuff about Dirk Nowitzki. Dirk Nowitzki was able to come back. He was able to bust OKC's ass. He was able to bust the Lakers' ass, and he was able to bust the Heat's ass that season. And he got his Finals MVP. Stephen Curry, although he got championships, people don't respect his championships yet because, well, they respect his championships. They just don't respect him as the numero uno guy because he don't got the Finals MVP. If he goes and if the Golden State Warriors find a way to get themselves back in the Finals, he gets a Finals MVP, Steph will get his respect.
Facts.
And I feel that he knows who was one of the biggest Stephen Curry critics. He finally will respect Stephen Curry. But Steph got to get it done.
Exactly. Okay. Let me just put this last comment in. Bam. That's it. Anyways, this was a hell of a live, man. Richy Rich tore it up. He came in on the back end. I love this game. You guys see? This is what we got. We want you guys to see. We can be able to have a panel where we can agree, but we also can have points where we challenge. You know what I'm saying? I love this game. It was pushed. You know what I'm saying? She pushed, he knows. But we gave you guys a good back and forth. And it happened in a mature, grown and sexy fashion. There was none of that craziness. There was none of that yelling. There was none of that back talking. There was none of that nonsense. Happened in a way to where you guys were entertained. You know, just like Gladiator. Are you not entertained? You guys were entertained. Now, she got her L. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, when it's all said and done, when you go up against he knows, though, you're going to eat that L. But she handled herself very well. She made up some great points, and I'll give her all the credit in the world. Bottom line is this. LeBron James is not what he is. Stephen Curry is a high-octane beta, aka alpha wannabe. Kevin Durant is coming. And when it's all said and done, when we look at basketball at its highest levels and we judge it, basketball is all about us putting things in its proper perspective. And when we put it in its proper perspective, we just have to wait until next year when the real NBA season actually starts and the real NBA season is enacted. That's going to let us know what we're dealing with here. Not Mickey Mouse, not Walt Disney, not fraudulent fluky, not least path of resistance, not NBA pickup, but a real NBA season. I love this game. I appreciate that you came in. Thank you for your time today because you came in and you tore this bad boy up. And I wanted to make sure that you had enough time on this panel for you to do your thing. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I appreciate you inviting me. Keep the invites coming. I don't know if I'm going to always be able to make it.
What's up?
But I will definitely do my best to do so. But yeah, I appreciate the invite. As I said, I like going back and forth with brothers like you who think they know everything and love to hear themselves talk. So, you know, it's always cool. I love listening to Richy Rich talk because he's a brother that seems to say very little, only speaks if he has something to say. But I enjoy the interaction, and like I said, this is not something that I do. I don't put myself out on public platforms, but
That's what's up.
You know, we'll see. Maybe I'll be back sooner rather than later. But don't hold your breath on it though.
I'm not gonna hold my breath, but at the same time, I know when you answer the bell, and I know you chopping at the bits like you were that other day. You'll reach out. There's gonna be
man.
You don't feel like you want to chop at the bits, so I'm expecting that. James Daggs, a bet is a bet. I'm gonna honor it, even though it was a robbery. I'm gonna honor it. I'm gonna give you your money, even though it's not legit money. You still gonna get it because at the end of the day, a man should be a man of his own word. Richy Rich, you're right. You hit Richy Rich on the thumb and the needle. Even though we got the same bloodline, you know, I'm Mr. Wordplay and he's Mr. Monotone. I mean, it is what it is. But when he drops his words drop thunder, man. It's like Thor. It comes like a hammer. And I got to give it to him. He just knows when to drop it at the right time. And he gets all of the credit in the world for it. But me, I just like challenges. You know what I'm saying? And this was a challenge. Because at the end of the day, you guys have to know that the people that's here on the panel know their stuff. I know I love this game, know her stuff. I just like to push people. It's just something innate in me to do it. And when you push people, you find out what they're made of. And look, she answered the bell. And we, we talking, we back in, hey, you digress. I didn't digress. I like that. That's everybody got to show their competitive nature, man, because that's what it's all about, competing. We love competitive sports. There you go.
I don't care if you're beating me. I'm still not going to back down.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's what I want to see. You never back down. You there for the fire. You dare to go blow for blow. And that's exactly what you did. So I appreciate you coming in this panel. I love this game. Richy Rich, I appreciate you. Everyone that's tuned into this platform, man, everyone that's been supporting this platform for the long haul and for as long as you guys have, I appreciate you guys, man. Because really, I put on for you guys, man. When I see that consistent energy of you guys in the comment section, I see that consistent energy of you guys, you know what I'm saying, really pushing yourselves and ingratiating and really just sending forth what you guys are bringing to the table. It makes me want to keep on going. It makes me want to keep on being consistent and keep giving you guys great content, great delivery. And when it's all said and done, have great people on the panel like I love this game. You're right, James Dag. She is thorough. Like Richy Rich, you know what I'm saying? And we're just going to keep giving you guys that heat and that fire. And we're going to keep talking about these topics because as the NBA season comes back, it's going to be that deal. Tyrone Spencer said, I love this game. You're a true fighter. She is. She earned her stripes today. She more than earned her stripes today. She's certified, she's calculated, she's verified, and she's quantified. And now we could officially say when it's all said and done, she got it, man. That's what it's all said and done. She got it. Richy Rich, thank you, man. You was dropping those little ethers. I see Jaliktheleader left because he couldn't handle the heat. Usually what happens to him, that's his MO. When he can't handle the heat, he just scatters like a la cucaracha, la cucaracha.
That's what LeBron fans do. That's what LeBron does.
That's it. They scatter like freaking cockroaches, man. So
Jalik is
exactly. The bottom line is I love this game. Thank you. Richy Rich, thank you. Appreciate everyone in the chat. Appreciate everyone that showed up and showed out. Make sure y'all donate to the platform. Cash App, Super Chat, whatever the case is going to be, because I need to go ahead and even out this 20 I'm about to give to James Dag because I don't like losing. I
got one quick question.
But go ahead.
You said y'all have the same bloodline. You two brothers are related?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Same dad, same mom.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's definitely the same bloodline. Can't get no closer than that.
Yep.
That's what's up. Cool.
Same dad, same mom. Cool. It's just we're the opposite. I'm the extrovert, he's the introvert, but it is what it is.
Cool.
But bottom line is appreciate y'all. Thank y'all. I'm gonna be reaching out again. I love this game, Richy Rich. I'm gonna be reaching out. We're gonna do the damn thing. I gotta go ahead and get onto this boxing live stream. I'm gonna take a quick interlude. But we're going to run this thing back tomorrow. So you're probably going to get an invite again. I love this game tomorrow. Richy Rich, you're going to get an invite again. Hopefully y'all answer the bell. And we're going to have some different topics because I got some different shit that I want to talk about. So I appreciate y'all.
I will be there.
Oh, you're going to be there? Appreciate it. That's what I'm talking about.
If I can make it, yes, I will.
Okay, good. Richy Rich, I already know what time it is. Your ass going to be there because just your ass going to be there. If I got to drag you, your ass going to be there. I'm messing with you, man. If you got the opportunity to be there, man. So appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for the participation. Appreciate everyone that showed up and showed out. Y'all have a great, what is this, Tuesday? I'm getting my days wrong. It's Tuesday? Okay, y'all have a great
Tuesday.
Okay, good. Y'all have a great tasteful Tuesday, and y'all enjoy yourselves and have a great day, and see you guys tomorrow on Hump Day Wednesday. Peace.